It never gets old. I love that little animation. Anyway, hey, thanks for joining me live. This is the, I don't know, third or fourth time I've done these weekly live streams. If this is your first time joining me on one of these live streams, I literally come into these with no agenda, like no talking points. I just kind of let the chat and the comments steer where we go on this show. And we just have fun and chat, talk about the latest things going on in the world of AI. We'll talk about news. We'll test some tools. I'll share my thoughts on CES. So if you have questions or things you want to talk about or tools you want to test or, news you want to chat about or anything like that, throw them into the comments. This is the first time I'm actually testing going live on X as well. I've been going live on YouTube. I've been going live on Twitch. I've now added X into the mix. So hopefully, actually, as of right now, I think I've got more viewers watching on X than any of the other platforms. I've got Dylan in the chat. He goes by DW in the chat. So if you see Dylan, he's the moderator. He's actually watching the chats and comments for me and then pulling them up for me in a Slack channel so I can sort of stay focused and focus on the conversation and what I'm looking at on screen. So if Dylan says something to you or tells you to be cool or to stop doing something, listen to him because he does have the power to boot you out. But let's just go ahead and get right into it. I'm already getting some messages over here from Dylan. I'm going to actually switch so that my screen is up as well. I did just get back from CES. It was pretty fun. CES is really, really exhausting. It's basically 4 days out in Las Vegas, and it's spread across like 10 different hotels in Vegas. So in the same day, I'm trying to be at like an event going on over in Mandalay Bay, and then like an hour later, I'm trying to be at the convention center, which is literally the opposite side of the strip. And then later that evening, there's an event at the Bellagio, which is like all the way back at the opposite side of the strip again. And so it gets super exhausting, and there's 140,000 people that go out to Las Vegas for these things. And it's fun, but it's exhausting. And I got back on Friday. Obviously today's Monday, and I'm still feeling exhausted from CES. So hopefully I've got enough energy to hang out and go through all your questions and have some fun on this stream today. But I'm going to go ahead and check in with Dylan here. He's going to copy and paste messages over to me in Slack so that I can kind of stay focused. So he says, Phil B, hey Matt, big fan. Why haven't you told the world about Versus AI yet? They are presenting World Economic Forum next week. They will be a disruptor in the AI space. Versus AI. It's actually not one that I know a lot about. I might have come across it in the past. Let's see, what is Versus AI? So imagine a smarter world versus a cognitive computing company building next generation intelligent software systems modeled after the wisdom and genius of nature. Yeah, this is one I haven't really dug into yet. So, hey, Phil, if you want to tell me a little bit more about it, what excites you about this Versus AI, we can kind of dig in on this. Akshit Gar, and we talk a little bit about large concept models. Apex, tell us more about the Nvidia supercomputer, please. When will it be released? I believe they said that one was going to be released in May, but I'm not 100% sure. I mean, they didn't give me access to one. I don't even believe they're in production yet. I think when Jensen was on stage and he was showing them off, he was saying that, there's only like literally a few units of it built so far. But my understanding on those is that they're coming out in May. Let me actually just double check that. I think I have like a news article that confirms that here. Where is it? Project Digits. So I think this article actually mentions when it's coming out down here somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh yeah. So Project Digits machines, which run NVIDIA's Linux-based DGX OS, will be available starting in May. from top partners for $3,000, the company said. I did see one in person. I actually have some, I think, do I have some B-roll of that? I think I did actually shoot a little bit of B-roll, but I didn't actually finish naming all my B-roll, so I don't know which one it is. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah. Actually, I don't want to pull it up because I don't know what my B-roll is not labeled properly yet, unfortunately. But I actually showed off some video footage of it in my latest AI news video. So you can check that out. You can see like sort of what ports it has on it. It's got like an Ethernet port on it. It's got like 3 USB-C ports on it. And it's got an HDMI. You could, I think, directly plug it into a monitor and just use it as a standalone computer, but it's designed to be it's designed to be like a cloud computer on your desk. It's designed for you to basically wire in from another computer, let the inference and any sort of training or things like that run on the device, and keep your main computer freed up. That was sort of the that was sort of the main idea. All right, so what was the coolest thing you saw at CES? So I did want to talk a little bit about CES. That was like, again, I don't really come into these with an agenda of like a lot of things that I want to talk about. I love just going wherever the conversation wants to go. But, you know, the one thing that is obviously on my mind was CES because I was there last week. And I think my initial thoughts on it were I was kind of underwhelmed this year. I felt like there wasn't a giant leap between what I saw at CES in 2024 and what I saw at CES in 2025. I think the Nvidia news was some of the biggest news. We'll get into that. There is a little bit of controversy around the Nvidia news. I put out my news video on Friday and was talking about the various Nvidia news that they announced, and a lot of people were freaking out because, you know, Jensen said some things on stage about the Nvidia video card, and a lot of people are sort of refuting his claims. And I do think they actually have a case for why they're refuting his claims. But at the same time, I also did use these devices in person. I actually got to go to a private Nvidia event. Most of what they talked about there is still under embargo, so I'm not actually allowed to talk about it until like later this week. But one thing I can talk about was they did give us actual demos of these 5090s running, and pretty much most of these demos, they would have like a computer running a 5090 and a computer running a 4090 side by side, so we can compare the difference. And like the difference felt pretty mind-blowing in person. So, you know, everybody that's sort of complaining and sort of getting all up in arms about like, oh, it's not even that big of an upgrade, it's not that, you know, the stats on these things aren't that big of a difference. I mean, the reality is when you see them side by side, it feels like a big difference. And I did see them side by side. But other than the Nvidia stuff, I was, again, sort of underwhelmed. Like last year, the big thing that was at CES that everybody was talking about was like these transparent TVs. This year, it was kind of more of a lot of transparent TVs. I saw a lot more of those. I do have some B-roll that I can pull up on those. Like the LG had some really cool. Here, let me find it real quick. LG had these like. Where is it? I think it was LG. Where is it? Sorry, there's a lot of silence on my streams as I look up stuff as I'm talking. Let me find this though. There was some really, really cool like wireless clear TVs that I thought were pretty impressive looking. But I have so much B-roll that it's like hard for me to find exactly what I'm looking for, because I shot like 10 hours of B-roll while I was there. Where is it? I need to do a better job of titling this stuff so I can find it easier on these streams. Oh, here we go. This is what I was looking for. No, we don't need the audio here. So this was like at LG's booth. These are all wireless clear TVs. Last year they had the clear TVs, but they weren't wireless. This year it seemed like wireless TVs were much more of a thing. A lot of people were showing off wireless TVs. But you can actually see like these things will start to move here in a second. but they're all clear. You can see directly through them. They're clear, they're wireless, and all right, come on. Show it move. Yeah, so there you can see like right through them as they all like move, and you could get a little better glimpse at what these things look like. They just look like clear windows, but they're actually transparent wireless TVs. That was one of the cooler things that I saw at CES, were these TVs here. But again, like sort of underwhelming. There was a lot of EV stuff there again. The other thing that was really cool, we've seen sort of videos of this. It was really cool to see it in person, where these like Xpeng like drones. Let's see. So like these like personal flying drones that are like little 2-seater drones. That here's another like shot of the drone from the front here. By the way, these videos are all shot in log. They're not color graded yet, so I apologize for that. But this is the best I got at the moment. So I've got a few angles of this like drone here. And then the cool thing about this is that it actually like squeezes into this like van thing here. And I'm going to walk around on this shot here in a minute. And you can see like this is the drone right here. Inside of the back of this like truck. I think I actually have some better shots of it here. So here's like a better shot of it with less people around. But that was actually really, really cool to see in person. I've seen videos of it online, but to see it in person is pretty surreal looking. And these are actually in production. People are already paying and ordering these, and apparently are going to ship, and people are going to be getting them. Yeah, I see Divine Within says Head Chopper 2000. That was literally like my first thought when I was looking at these, is it feels like, I'm 6'3", and it feels like those blades are like right at head level. So that really like scares the heck out of me. But yeah, that was one of the cooler things that I saw at CES as well. But yeah, this year felt more overwhelming to me than last year. I don't know why. It felt like more people. It felt more crowded. There was construction going on at the convention center, which made things feel even more hectic. It's like really, really difficult to get really good B-roll during CES because there's so many people. Like I would be sitting there like filming something, and somebody would just walk and stand right in front of my camera, like ignoring the fact that I was filming, which was sort of frustrating. But yeah, those were some of the cool things I saw. They did show off more stuff with like AI in it. But I felt like most of the stuff that now has AI in it felt kind of gimmicky. So I thought one thing that might be kind of cool to do on this stream, and I actually haven't even looked through this yet, but like the CES website put up their awards of like, the most innovative and coolest things that came out of CES. So I thought it might be kind of cool to like skim this and show some of the stuff off that came out of CES. But before I do, let me just check in with Dylan real quick and see if there's anything coming across that I need to respond to here. So AI music, which AI technology or breakthrough do you believe will have the greatest impact in the next 5 years? Let's see. I'm going to come back. I'm reading some of these questions out loud, but I'm going to circle back around to them. I just don't want to. If you've watched my past live streams, I have a tendency to sort of jump around from thing to thing to thing to thing a lot. So I'll like talk about one thing, and then I'll go to another thing for like 3 minutes, and then I'll jump back to the first thing I was talking about, and then I'll jump to a new thing, and then I'll jump back to the second thing, and it gets really hectic. So I'm trying to do my best in my brain to sort of keep things a little tighter and a little more organized, and stick on one thing for a little bit longer, because that's something my ADD brain has been bad at, is just kind of focusing in. I tend to, when I'm working on a normal day-to-day basis, I tend to jump around a lot. I tend to like look at some news and then jump over to a tool and then jump on X and see somebody talking about something, and then I go and click on the link, and then I read the article, and then it links to a YouTube video, and I'm watching and so I'm just like, that's like what my daily life looks like. I am just jumping around all over the place, watching videos, reading articles, jumping in X, scrolling Instagram of my like AI feed over there, and I'm trying to rein it in while I'm doing these live streams. But if you've watched my live streams in the past, I'm not very good at reining that in. All right, Brian Mooney, pick up any cool or interesting swag from the conference. No, this was actually the first year I specifically opted not to grab a bunch of swag. Last year I came home with like 2 bags full of stuff at CES, and most of it ended up in either in the garbage can or in a drawer, and I've never looked at it again. So this year I specifically decided I'm just going to grab footage, and I'm not going to like take any of the swag or stuff home. I don't tend to wear like a lot of brands on my live streams, so I don't really care about getting the shirts with other people's company logos on it and things like that. That doesn't really interest me that much. The one thing that I do tend to pick up if companies offer them is water bottles. Actually, you can't see it, but I've got like a giant collection of water bottles on my bookshelf to the right. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Google water bottles, an Insta360 water bottle, 2 Nvidia water bottles, a Microsoft water bottle, a HubSpot water bottle. For whatever reason, I like grabbing the water bottles, but I didn't actually see many this year, so I didn't grab them. So Jason Viviers, have you played with any multi-level agent frameworks like Relevance AI? I'd like to learn more. We'll circle back around. Guy T1 LLM. Which smart glasses are better? Smart glasses are better. Meta Ray-Bans or the secret glasses from Google you had in London? We could circle back around, but the secret Google Astra glasses, they're not much of a secret anymore. They've been announced, but those were definitely quite a bit better just because they had the heads-up display. They pretty much did everything the Google Meta glasses did, but they also had a heads-up display in them. So like they had that one extra thing going for it. All right, let me get back to CES here. So these are all the things that won the awards at CES. A lot of it I didn't see. Like I think if you're there for 4 days, it's impossible to see everything at CES. You kind of have to pick and choose which areas you want to go to. So there's so much that I actually didn't see. I did watch the Samsung keynote. The Samsung keynote was interesting because it sounds like what they're trying to do is sort of blend the Internet of Things with AI, so everything is sort of communicating and talking with each other. That concept was really, really interesting to me. So basically, for example, let's say you have like their Samsung Smart Ring. They're building technology so that like you have a smart thermostat, and if you're sleeping at night and your ring notices that you're getting really, really hot, it will interact with your AC and it will crank up your AC for you because it's noticing you're getting hot at night. They also have like smart window covering mechanics that will, open and close your blinds for you, things like that. So like at night, it could notice, or you can tell it you want to wake up at a certain time and have it sync up with your alarm clock. And when your alarm clock goes off at a certain time, it automatically opens your blinds and lets natural light in. They have different things with like the laundry machines that interact with different appliances in your house. And I don't even remember all of the like weird connections they were making, but they're basically talking about AI that sort of preempts your needs instead of AI that waits for you to prompt what you want. So like I mentioned with the Ring, it notices you're hot and should need to cool down. Well, it will preempt that and turn on the AC. They showed off a Samsung smart fridge that integrates with Instacart, and it looks inside of your fridge, and when it notices you're out of eggs or out of milk, it just automatically orders it from Instacart for you, and then the same day that stuff will arrive. So it will like preempt your need for that stuff. That kind of thing was really interesting. But if you watched my previous live stream where I used an AI agent to order toilet paper, you can see how that kind of stuff could go wrong. It racked up $700 worth of toilet paper when I asked it to go buy me a roll of toilet paper. So some of that stuff kind of, I don't know how it's going to work out yet. Like if things are hiding behind other things, is it going to be able to detect that you have it? Things like that I'm not totally sure about yet. So yeah, we'll find out how all that plays out. Let's see, did you discover any new company you think could be a big player in the AI space at CES? That's a good question. I have to think about that. I think most of the companies that I was most impressed with their AI were actually from some of the bigger companies. Top of my head, I can't think of any new companies. Let me actually look through some of my notes here. I saw a company that was selling AI stethoscopes. There was a company that was doing like AI optimized water. I mean, a lot of it felt really gimmicky to me. Like they're putting AI in it because AI is the buzzword, as opposed to like, this thing is actually way improved with AI. It just kind of felt like, oh, it now has AI, but it's actually not that use. Like the AI doesn't make it that much more useful. I'm just kind of looking through my notes here. There was a smoker called the Brisket barbecue. That this is a barbecue that has AI in it that sort of like crappy framed shot. Sorry about that. So yeah, this is like an AI barbecue smoker that kind of keeps track of the meat temperature and lets you know when your meat is ready. Do I think that's something that's like game changing, world changing? Not particularly. Yeah, just, I don't know. There wasn't a lot of, I feel like there was less AI this year than there was last year. Last year I felt like every single exhibitor at CES kind of had like a now with AI banner on their products. This year it was almost like just implied everything has AI. Like they stopped putting it in the signs, but like when you would go and talk to these companies at these various booths, they would go, "Oh yeah, we have AI in our stuff now too." But it wasn't like the thing that they were announcing. I'm also curious if anybody in the comments was at CES, because I'd love to hear your thoughts and like what some of your takeaways or some of the cooler things you saw were. Because again, super overwhelming, a lot of stuff. So it's like sort of hard to sum it all up of like these were the big things, because there's, you know, thousands of booths there. Let's see. Oh, one of the things that I thought was pretty cool, I don't really have a good video of it. HP had this like AI. This is actually more of a software thing. It's not really a hardware thing. I thought at first it was like this printer was the special AI, but what this was it's an AI that lives between when you press print and then when it goes to your printer. And what I liked about this is like, let's say you're on like a website, you're on like a TechCrunch page and you want to print the article from TechCrunch. It actually used AI to automatically remove any ads from the article. It removed the header. It removed any sort of menus, and it would literally just print the article. And it would like sort of look at whatever you're trying to print, use AI to clean up what you're trying to print, and then print that for you. I thought that was something that would be really useful. If I'm honest, I don't really print a whole lot myself, but I could see how this would be really useful for people who do print. You can actually see on my little screenshot here, like this is an article that has like all these ads on the sidebar, and it has like the profile pic of the writer and things like that on it. Well, what this AI would do is it would clean all of that up and then just make it look like you were printing a Word doc that was nice and clean and that sort of thing. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, you can obviously do that by copying and pasting it into a Word doc or a Google doc and then printing it, but it just kind of saves you that extra step. That looked to be pretty handy to me. Yeah, let me scroll through here and this is like sort of my way of refreshing my memory of some of the cool stuff that was there. What else do we got? There was, the smart irrigation system. That was actually kind of interesting. It was an irrigation system that makes sure you don't waste any water. It would like figure out the optimal spray distance so that you're not like spraying your driveway as well. It would only spray what you were trying to get coverage of. That was pretty smart. I liked that a lot. What else? Again, if you were at CES, shoot me some comments about what you saw and what you thought was really cool over at CES as well. Would love to hear it. It'll also help refresh my memory. What else? A lot of this stuff I didn't even see. Again, it's so massive. I felt like there was less robots this year too. I saw a lot of videos online of people posting like various humanoid robots, and I did see a few, but there was way more last year. Last year, it seemed like there was tons of booths that had humanoid robots. This year, I only saw like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 booths. All right. I'm looking through the comments here that that Dylan sent me. I'm specifically looking for stuff around CES so I can try to keep myself focused for a minute here. Oh, that's awesome. Mr. Wizard, I got a job as a Lang graph engineer in part thanks to this channel. I love to hear that. Any demonstration of AI-based video games, or was it just what Nvidia showed with DLSS? Interpolated frames are fine and all, but I want to see more substantial graphics generated by AI for a game. I did actually get some demos of games. Let me see. You're not going to be able to tell from my footage how well the games look, though, unfortunately. It was something that you're going to have to take my word for, that when I saw it in person, it looked really good. So like these guys here, they demoed a game being played on the 5090. And I mean, here, I'll pause it real quick. You could see in this game, like all of the reflections of the ceiling on the game. And then they actually showed it turned, they turned off one setting and then turned it back on. I think that was the DLSS setting that they turned on and off, but you could see the reflection. They turned the setting off and then they turn it back on. Again, not the greatest footage because we're all standing around looking at it, but it looked really, really, really impressive in person. Obviously running this through a stream using log footage that's not even color graded, you're not going to get the true effect of what this looked like, but it was really, really impressive looking in person. Like everybody that I was standing around watching this with was blown away by how good the graphics looked when we were actually playing it. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? Let's talk about Nvidia for a second, because that was some of the biggest like negative commentary I got about the latest AI news video I put out. I spent the first few minutes talking about Nvidia and all of their announcements. You know, I was really excited about the announcements because I saw it in person and was actually pretty impressed by what I was seeing and how good everything looked. But a lot of the comments were like, oh, Jensen was lying, and he's, you know, claiming that it's getting 240 frames per second, but it's really not, because a lot of those frames are generated frames. And I do think that some of those criticisms are accurate. I do think that when Nvidia was giving their keynote, there was some of that stuff that was stretched a little bit. You know, when you are playing these games at 240 frames per second, it's not like a real 240 frames per second. It might be like, you know, 120 frames per second, but every other frame is generated by AI, and then it uses frame interpolation. And when you introduce frame interpolation into like videos, it creates a slight latency. So, you know, there is that. The other big criticism people were giving is that they didn't really upgrade the RAM much. The 5070 and the 5070, I believe, has 12 gigabytes of RAM, and I think the Ti might have 16 gigabytes, I believe. Here, let me just confirm that real quick. RTX 50 series. I just want to double check what the RAM was on each of these. That was the other thing a lot of people were complaining about, is like, RAM has gotten so inexpensive now. Why didn't they crank up the RAM on all of them? Yeah, so our 5070 actually has 12 gigabytes of RAM. The Ti has 16 gigabytes of RAM. The 5080 only has 16 gigabytes of RAM as well. And then the 5090 has 32 gigabytes of RAM. You know, and so a lot of people were kind of going, why didn't they crank up the RAM a little bit more? You can see the 4090 is a pretty good jump from the 5090 is a pretty good jump from the 4090. So you get 32 gigabytes versus 24 gigabytes. But, you know, other than that, they didn't really go too much further on the RAM, right? 4070 here actually has, yeah, they kept the RAM the same. I mean, the new one's GDDR7 RAM. The old one was GDDR6X. But for the most part, they didn't really make big boosts in the amount of RAM they're giving everybody in the GPUs. And I know that was a big complaint that a lot of people had as well. And I think that's a valid complaint. I mean, I can't disagree with that. Let's see. Dragonfly Theory. How would one go about getting into CES? I looked up tickets and it said only industry professionals. I mean, so if you're a content creator, if you have, like, they actually have, here, let me show you. I can actually give you exact information about how to get in. I think the easiest way to get in is to be, you know, part of the media, in my opinion. But there is like sort of minimum follower requirements that you have to have. So let me see if I can find the answer to that question. Don't remember the exact numbers. There was a page, I don't remember where it was exactly, but there was a page that shows the guidelines to actually get a media pass. I think you have to have like 50,000 followers or something, but I don't remember exactly. The other thing that's really cool too is if you want B-roll from CES, there's actually a website called cesbroll.com where they actually have professionals going around and taking B-roll of like most of the booths. So if you're making a video and you weren't at CES and you want to, you know, share what happened at CES on a video without actually being there, they literally give you all the B-roll from the event. I take my own B-roll because I want shots that sort of prove that I was there, but you don't even have to be there to get B-roll. You can just wander around and look at everything and then grab the B-roll they create for you later if you want. Registration info. Okay, so who can register as media? All right, here you go. Digital content creators. So if you're on YouTube, you have to have 40,000 or more monthly views. So they don't even care about subscribers. They just want to see that you have 40,000 or more monthly views. If you're on TikTok, they want to see 50,000 or more monthly views. If you're on Instagram, they want to see followers, so 25,000 or more followers. Twitter, 25,000 or more followers. If you're on Twitch, 40,000 or more views, 25,000 or more LinkedIn followers. Or if you have a podcast, 10,000 or more monthly podcast streams. You can also go in as a freelancer if you have articles published, 3 articles published within the last 9 months. Letter from an editor or producer of the station you work for. So, I mean, like, if you look at the media page, this is probably the easiest way to get into CES is look at the media page and then figure out how to like engineer this. You know, maybe start a blog and make sure that you're writing at least 3 articles a month on the blog about tech and media, or start a podcast and, you know, 10,000 or more monthly podcast streams. I don't really know if that's a hard number to get to or not. It probably is. But, you know, I actually hit a few of this criteria here. As far as like going as part of the tech industry, I don't actually know what the requirements are because I've always gone as part of the media. And then I think if you're part of the tech industry, it costs like $150 or something like that for a pass. All right. What else you guys asking over here? Is there going to be a dedicated CES recap? There might be. I'm not sure yet. Again, my plan was to do this live stream and talk about CES on this live stream because I didn't really feel like there was a giant leap from last year to this year with a lot of the tech. So I'm kind of still debating whether I'm going to make a full dedicated CES video. Dylan, who's my producer and also helping moderate this, him and I are going to be chatting about that and seeing if it makes sense to actually put together a sort of deep dive on the coolest stuff that I saw at CES. I'd like to. I would say I probably will. It just won't. It's just taking some time because I did shoot a lot more B-roll than last year. So it's going to take a little time to like sift through the footage. I didn't have like an on-site team like a lot of other creators do that they were feeding them the B-roll and then an editor was in the hotel room editing the clips together that same day to put them out. I don't I don't have those kinds of resources at my disposal while I'm at the event. So if I do, it probably won't be until like next week or something, because I do have to sift through it all and figure out what footage is worth showing. Let's see, what AI glasses do you advise us buy for daily work? I mean, right now, the only AI glasses that I personally use frequently myself are the Meta Ray-Bans. And I barely ever actually use the AI features in them. I mostly just use the camera and the speakers that are on them. But I do think the Astra glasses, once those are available from Google, those are going to be really cool. I also hear rumors that sometime in 2025, the Meta glasses are going to add like a little heads-up display inside of them, so you can actually see, you know, translation and subtitles on them and get turn-by-turn directions if you're using your glasses to go somewhere. So the Meta Ray-Bans or the Astra glasses, once they add the heads-up display inside of them, are going to be really, really helpful, I think. Let's see, Turundus AI, the Withings mirror was intriguing. Do you think combining smartwatches, blood pressure monitors, and body scans into one system is the future? Who will lead this? Greetings from Estonia. Yeah, I did think that was pretty cool as well. Let's see, I actually do have a little bit of footage of that one as well. So this is the Omnia mirror here. Basically, here, let me pause this video. It's this mirror that you stand in front of, and it's got like, it syncs up to your smartwatch, so it will show like your daily steps and your daily activity and your heart rate and all of that kind of stuff. And it's all in your mirror. It also will do things like give you positive motivational messages when you stare into the mirror in the morning and things like that. I definitely thought that was really cool. Is it the future? I mean, probably, but I think like costs need to come down on a lot of the stuff that's in it before like everybody's putting them in their house. You know, you would probably want this like in your bathroom, right? So like when you're getting ready in the morning, it's showing you all the data like as you're getting ready. I don't know if I want like a separate mirror that I'm going to go use. Like I kind of want it like built into my bathroom, but like everybody's already got where they live, and so they would need to like replace the mirror they have already. So I mean, I could see this being the future, but I think it's going to be a fairly long transition before like a lot of people adopt this kind of tech. Let's see. Frog, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. What are your favorite 5 movies ever? Oh, that's interesting. Very, very random. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. So I love almost everything Christopher Nolan does. Batman Begins is probably like my favorite movie. I've seen that movie so many times. This is very cliche, but drawing a blank on the name of the movie. Dang it. It's like a classic. The Shawshank Redemption. That's like every dude's favorite movie. I love Batman Begins. I love Shawshank Redemption. I don't know. I'm struggling. I've watched a lot of movies over the years. Those are the 2 that come to mind as probably like my top 2 favorite movies. I don't know. I'll have to think about that and get back to you. Ali Edian says last year's CES was better than this year's CES. I agree. It was this year. I was honestly fairly underwhelmed, and I think it was because I was there last year and a lot of the tech felt fairly similar. It didn't feel like a giant leap from what we saw last year, where last year felt like a fairly large leap from, you know, previous years. One thing that I thought was cool, I don't think this really has anything to do with AI, but I thought this was really cool, was this robot here that cleans your windows for you. It's like a Roomba, but for your windows. I kind of want one of those for my house. I feel like this might be like kind of the future of like cleaning hotel windows. You know, you see the dudes on the scaffolding that they pull up with the ropes and they're all cleaning the windows. I think, you know, a lot of these types of machines, you know, bigger versions of them are probably the future of that. But it's really cool to see like, you know, home versions of this kind of thing. let's see. All right, I'm going to go back through some of the questions. We can circle back around to CES in a bit, but yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on it. I did want to share a few of the cool things that I saw. I think my favorite part about CES, if I'm being honest, is just like meeting and talking to other people at CES. I got to hang out with Kevin, who runs the Futurepedia website and YouTube channel. That was really cool. I got to hang out with Dylan Curious, that's another AI YouTube channel that I recommend checking out. I got to hang out with Matt Berman. He was out there. Unfortunately, he lives in LA, so his area was the fires are obviously going on in LA right now, so that was a lot of concern, and I think he had to leave early due to that. So that was unfortunate, but it was really great to hang out and spend some time with him. I got to hang out with Saj, who runs the Skill Leap AI channel. I got to hang out with Jacqueline Dallas, who runs, I think her channel is called Nothing But Tech. So a lot of really cool other creators there that I got to spend some time with. That's probably my favorite part about CES, is just so many other creators are out there. Linus Sebastian from Linus Tech Tips was there. Didn't get to hang out with him, but I saw him there filming. Same with iJustine. She was, running around filming a bunch of stuff. So saw her process behind the scenes a little bit, which was cool. But just like seeing and hanging out with other creators is probably my favorite part about the event, even more so than a lot of the tech. So I absolutely loved that aspect of it. But yeah, again, it was a little bit underwhelming, and a lot more AI stuff that I feel like doesn't need AI. You'd think that's probably weird coming from me because I'm like the AI guy, I guess. But I feel like a lot of companies are putting AI in stuff that doesn't need AI. All right. Back to Dylan sending me a lot of the questions you guys are submitting. So I know I'm skipping over a lot of stuff, and I want to circle back around here. Damn, we got over 1,000 people joining us right now over on X. Almost 500 people on YouTube. Pretty sweet. Thanks everybody for hanging out and just listening to me ramble, because this is like, I've said this on almost every stream, but I know there's new people tuning into this stream because I'm also sharing it on X this time as well. But like, what I'm doing right now is literally what I do every single day. I sit down at my computer and I'm just all over the place. I'm looking at the latest news. I'm looking at tools. I'm opening up things and testing them out. I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm scrolling X, and I'm just sort of jumping all over the place and just keeping my finger on the pulse. Just what's going on over here? What are they talking about? What's going on here? What's the news? Where are people's interests lying right now? And I decided to do these live streams because I figured, this is what I'm doing anyway. Might as well just like turn on the stream and essentially narrate what I do on a daily basis anyway. So that's really the whole idea behind this stream, is like, this is literally the things I'd be doing on a Monday morning anyway. I'm just going to stream it and talk through what I'm looking at. And then obviously I'm going a little bit deeper because you guys are asking questions, and so it gives me the opportunity to share more thoughts and keep my finger on the pulse of what interests you. All right, so I'm going to skim back through the questions here. I'm very ADD, and I'm sorry about that. So yeah, we were looking, so I'm going to move away from CES. I usually go for about 3 hours on these streams. So if we're still hanging around in a couple hours and you guys want to circle back to CES, we can do that in a little bit. But there are some other things that I think are interesting. There's this new thing that came out from the White House, ensuring U.S. security and economic strength in the age of artificial intelligence. I have not read this yet. I opened up the tab before going on the stream, so I don't know what this is all about yet. I know that Nvidia put out a statement that they're not happy about this, this thing that the White House put out. So we can probably talk about that here in a minute. Adobe's putting out a new tool that can edit 10,000 images with one click. So it can do things like bulk, automatically remove, replace, or extend image backgrounds, but do it in like giant batches. So that's something interesting, and I'm not sure. I don't think we have access to this yet. It says Adobe says there will be a fee to use these new tools based on consumption. So just based on the way this is written, I don't believe this is available yet. Oh yeah. Okay, so digital avatars created using text descriptions and voice recordings will also be available in beta this month. Yeah, so this bulk feature looks interesting, but I don't believe we have access. And if you are trying to do 10,000 images at once, it sounds like it might be fairly expensive. That's something that's kind of interesting. I don't think we need to go too much deeper into that. Here's an article I came across that sort of goes into that whole frame rate issue where it's sort of adding extra frames in between using generative AI. So I was literally reading about this right before we jumped on the stream. Basically saying, let's see. So Jensen was basically saying that DLSS 4 does not use frame interpolation, but I guess it apparently does. Okay, so DLSS 4's multi-frame generation uses a technique called frame interpolation. This is the same technique that we use in DLSS 3, and the same technique you'll find in other frame generation tools. Frame interpolation works like this. Your graphics card renders 2 frames, and then an algorithm steps in to calculate the difference between those frames. Then it generates a frame to go in between. So, you know, if you've ever used like Runway AI's frame interpolation feature, you give it one image and then you give it a second image and then it sort of morphs like an animation between the two images. That's what this is doing. But it's doing it at a super rapid rate. Like it's happening, you know, multiple times per second, where it knows one image from the game and it knows the next image from the game, but then it adds AI generated frames in between each of those images to make it seem like a much, much higher frame rate. And a lot of people aren't happy with that because this introduces some additional latency, which could potentially slow down the game a little bit. So there's a whole article about that. I was just reading up on it. Somebody keeps asking about Versus. Let me see what they said about it. I know I asked for more details. Versus has so much going on. Genius program and the spatial web protocol, cheaper, faster, explainable. Could be a game changer. You need to do a deep dive. Okay, this is something I will look deeper into. It looks, you know, I'm looking at this website. There's a lot of information here. So, you know, if you think this is something that's really, really worth looking into more, I will look into it more. I don't feel like their homepage really does a great job of telling me what this is all about. They've also got some dead images on their website. So yeah, I'll dig into Versus. I'm not going to go too deep into it right now because then you'll just see me in silence reading the screen, and I don't want to do that on a live stream. But that is something I will look into more based on your suggestion. Let's see. What else? Callie Klein, Matt, you are the best. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm just having fun with AI and, you know, trying to share the fun a little bit. Paul Harding, ask ChatGPT. Yeah, I could do that. What I'd actually probably prefer to do is ask Perplexity, because then it will actually look at the website for me. Actually, what was versus.ai? So here's what I'll do real quick. What is versus.ai and what is it used for? What's novel about it? Why should I care? This is the type of stuff I love Perplexity for, because I can give it the URL and you know it's going to actually go and like read the URL here. All right. Versus AI is a cognitive computing company developing next generation intelligent software systems inspired by natural intelligence and neuroscience. The company's approach centers on two main innovations: Core technology, active inference AI, unlike traditional AI systems that rely on large language models versus uses an approach called active inference that updates beliefs in real time based on incoming data. Interesting. Requires significantly less training data and computing power, makes decisions that are more interpretable and auditable by design. Genius platform, their flagship product suite includes a distributed intelligence operating system that enables developers to build AI applications that can reason, plan, and learn. Real-time data processing capabilities that allow AI agents to continuously update their understanding of the world, and integration with Internet of Things devices, robotics, and other systems for practical real-world applications. So that's real-time. I like this. Allow the AI agents to continuously update their understanding of the world. That's something we're kind of missing in most of our large language models now, right? They're all sort of trained up to a certain date. Yes, they can access the web, like if we're using Perplexity, and it can pull in more up-to-date information. But it sounds like this kind of constantly updates the actual underlying training data. So maybe like when future people start using this, it knows based on information that other people asked it. I'm just speculating here. This is obviously my first time reading about this here. Efficiency and cost. The system requires substantially less data and computing power compared to traditional AI approaches, making it more cost-effective to develop and operate. Real-world applications. Smart city management in Abu Dhabi for taxi fleet optimization, supply chain and warehouse management through their Wayfinder application, autonomous drone navigation in partnership with the European Union. Why it matters. Provide a more sustainable and efficient approach to artificial intelligence, enable the development of AI systems that can better understand and interact with the physical world, create more transparent and trustworthy AI systems that can explain their decision-making process, and potentially offer a path toward more advanced forms of AI while using fewer resources. Interesting. So, is this different than like large language models? Because I think it like to get to like AGI or ASI, I feel like we need a model that constantly learns and like updates from new information as it sort of gets that new information fed into it. I know Sam Altman has recently said they know the path to AGI, but I think once they claim they have AGI, there's going to be a lot of people out there that are claiming, that's not AGI. That's just Sam's definition of AGI. Like, I think there's going to be some contention around that. And I think to really have like a true AGI and eventually get to a true ASI, AGI being artificial general intelligence, ASI being artificial superintelligence, I think you need a model that constantly learns and updates its learning as it gets fed new information. So as people have different conversations with it, it's constantly learning based on those conversations. And then everybody that's using that model beyond that is getting the newest, most up-to-date model based on conversations it had previously, if that makes sense. I feel like to really get to an AGI or ASI, I feel like it needs to be that sort of constantly learning model. Let's see, how does this differ from LLMs? All right, just reviewing some questions here while I'm waiting. I really appreciate, Dylan keeping a lot of these questions organized for me, because there's a lot coming in right now. We've got, let's see, almost 1,600 people live right now. Let's see, answered that one. Have you played with any multi-level agent frameworks like Relevance AI? I actually have not played with Relevance AI. I know that agents was a big talk. Relevance AI. I know agents were a big talk during CES and Jensen's keynote. They have what they call NIMs, which are Nvidia microservices, I believe. And these NIMs are like little AI tools, right? There's like a text-to-speech NIM and a video processing NIM and a large language model NIM and text to voice and voice to text and all of these various like AI like apps and services that we've seen, there's like a NIM for each one. But then they introduced what they called blueprints, and these blueprints are when you start linking up all of these NIMs, and they're calling those blueprints basically agents. So basically, think of a blueprint like, let me try to think of an example of like a blueprint. Think of like a video game, and in the video game, you want to create NPCs, non-playable characters, where they can actually have conversations with you when you walk up and chat with them. Well, like a blueprint for that game developers can integrate directly into their game might be a blueprint where it takes a voice to text input, and there's a NIM for voice to text. And so when you speak to that NPC in the game, it's listening to it, transcribing it into text. And then maybe there's a NIM that's like a large language model NIM. And the large language model NIM then takes the text that you just gave it, interprets it, gives it an answer, and then there's a text-to-speech NIM that then basically gives the character a voice, and then they start speaking back to you. And so you're using basically 3 NIMs, voice-to-text NIM, large language model NIM, and then a text-back-to-voice NIM. And then all 3 of those are linked together as a blueprint, and now you can integrate that into a video game. And once one person creates that blueprint is then shareable, and now all game developers can have access to that blueprint and create these AI-enabled NPCs in their games, because the blueprint's been created once, and now everybody has access to it. And that's kind of what they were calling agents. Everybody kind of have some like different definitions of agents and what they expect agents to do, but Nvidia is kind of using the term blueprints and agents interchangeably. All right, so the leading AI workforce platform that delivers human quality work. All right, we'll take a look at this in a second. Let me jump back to Perplexity here. I want to know how this tool we were looking at here differs from LLMs. So this is versus AI. So active inference continuously updates its understanding through real-world interactions and sensory input. Yeah, so that's to me what seems like this, what makes this versus interesting, is that it's got the continuously updating understanding. LLMs remain static after training, unable to learn from new experiences or adapt to changing situations. So yeah, that seems like probably the biggest difference that makes this versus thing stand out. Real-world applications, active inference excels as an operator rather than a maker, meaning it can run complex systems like hospitals, airports, and cities, make real-time decisions based on current data, continually update its world model. Limitations of LLMs cannot perceive or reason about real-world situations as they unfold, lack ability to take physical actions, generate content based only on its training data, and often hallucinate or fabricate responses. Does that mean these new models won't hallucinate? Let's see. So technical advantages, resource efficiency, explainability. The system provides transparent decision-making processes and can report on its own processing, making it fully auditable. That's interesting because right now, obviously, a lot of the large language models like ChatGPT and Claude and things like that, that's sort of a black box. We don't actually understand how it came to the conclusion that it came to. Like, we know there's a vector database behind it where it's sort of connecting the dots between vectors as it gives the output, but we can't see that process happen. We can't actually see how it decided which sort of vector to jump to next to give us the information. In contrast, LLM decisions are often described as probabilistic guesses that are difficult to interpret. So contextual understanding, active inference builds a dynamic world model that continuously evolves based on real-time interactions, while LLMs are limited to their initial training data and cannot understand their update of the world. Okay, yeah. So that, to me, that's really interesting. This versus, that's definitely one that looks interesting to deep dive even further in. I think we're just kind of looking at it from a surface level, but the big takeaway here is that something like this looks like it can do things similar to a large language model, but is constantly updating as new information is sort of getting perceived by this AI model. So that's super, super cool. Thank you to who brought that one up. Phil B. Thanks, Phil B, for putting this one on my radar. So coming back to the music by Mr. Spikos, which AI technology or breakthrough do you believe will have the greatest impact in the next 5 to 10 years? I think advancing large language models and tools like what we're looking at on this versus here are probably going to have the biggest impact, because as we hit things like AGI and ASI, now we're entering that realm of rapid drug discovery, rapid helping rapidly find solutions for problems like climate change and poverty. And obviously there's going to be a rapidly changing economical system in the world as AI is able to take more and more jobs away and handle more and more of the work for people. We might be entering a world where humans may not need to actually be the workers anymore. Well, if that's the case, humans still need to survive and pay for things. There still needs to be some sort of economy. And I think as we get into AGI and ASI, it's going to actually help us solve a lot of those problems. It's going to help us think of unique ideas that, humans haven't come to the conclusion on yet. It's an amazing correlation machine, and it's better at finding correlations between things than pretty much any human kind of already, right? So I think as it gets closer and closer to AGI, as we pass AGI and start to move into like ASI, I think that is going to be the most world-changing technology we're going to see, because again, it could be the end to things like cancer and diabetes and all of the various health issues that plague the world. It could be the issue, the help we need for climate change. It could be the help we need for a whole new economic system as we move into a more AI powered world. And so I'm really looking forward to a time where AI is really, really helping collaborate with humans to come to solutions for a lot of these problems. I also think humanoid robotics are going to be bigger and bigger and bigger. I know it sounds silly, but I really think we're going to get to a future where we have like Rosie style robots from the Jetsons helping us around the household, doing our laundry and doing our dishes and picking up after our kids and making sure Legos aren't left on the floor so you don't step on them at 2 a.m. when you have to get up to go to the bathroom or whatever. I really, really think we're moving to that future. Maybe even like cook for you and help you with like meal planning and meal prep and things like that. Like, how cool would that be if you have like a robot and you tell it what sort of like diet you want to be on? It uses its own AI plus the internet to order the ingredients it needs. The ingredients come, and then you have like a cooking robot that can actually like cook all this stuff for you. Like, I do think between advancing to AGI and ASI plus the combination of humanoid robots, embodied AI, I think that combination is going to lead to a world where, in the beginning, probably only like the richest of the people are going to have these AI humanoid sort of helper robots. But I do think it will likely get to a future where they get less and less and less and less expensive, and more of the population are able to have things like that. I mean, you look at like personal computers. In the early days, they were prohibitively expensive for most households to have computers. Same with TVs, right? But over time, the cost of developing them got smaller and smaller and smaller. And now pretty much, most first world countries, everybody has a computer and a television and all that kind of stuff in their house. And then, as more of the developing countries are starting to get that technology, more of the developing world is getting smartphones and things like that as well. And so I think over time, as those costs come down, we're going to see more and more of that expansion to where more people are able to have those kinds of things in their household. As far as time frame goes, I don't know if that's within the next 10 years or not. I do think AGI and passing ASI are within the next 10 years. Getting those robots down to a cost that anybody can afford, maybe a little bit more than 10 years out, but who knows? I could be way off because this is exponential technology, right? AGI and ASI may actually solve the problems we're talking about and help get the costs lower and lower and lower really, really quickly. Let's see. Oh yeah, then we were going to look at relevance AI. So let's jump back here now. All right, so Relevance AI, the leading AI workflows platform that delivers human quality work. From AI tools to AI agents to multi-agent teams, anyone can build and manage an entire AI workforce in one powerful visual platform. So what does this do exactly? So it looks like you can select the language model. So it's like a language model agnostic. Real life agentic AI use cases you can't ignore. So sales, receive lead research, personalize outreach, respond to objections, confirm book meeting. Interesting. So this workflow here, I'm actually not seeing why AI is necessary other than maybe on the research phase. There's already sort of like, I feel like workflows that can do this. I guess these 3 steps here. Receive an inquiry, classify request, triage and response, identify opportunity, populate summary, escalate. Yeah, so these are like automated workflows that will connect a bunch of tools. I think we're going to see a lot of this kind of stuff pop up right now. I feel like a lot of this kind of stuff you can actually make with something like a make.com or a Zapier, or Mind Studio is another one that does this kind of thing as well. So I think we're going to see a lot more of these like workflow builder tools that you can sort of connect the dots between a bunch of tools and then, you know, have AI in the mix to help make the decisions and write up a lot of the text for you. But this looks really interesting. Mind Studio, they've been a sponsor of mine in the past. They do similar kind of things as well. Rapidly build and deploy. All right, why did it reload? Rapidly build and deploy specialized AI workers. So there's this as well that does something similar, right? You build these workflows, generate text, query a data source, generate more text, and then it's got, you know, its logic. And then it's also model agnostic, so it works with, you know, Claude, Mistral, Gemini, Llama, any of the tools you want to use, and it connects all these various tools together into these like workflows. One thing I do like about Mind Studio is that it actually, like, you can actually have AI build the workflow for you. So you can tell it, hey, I want to build an AI that searches the internet for this, organizes it into a spreadsheet for me, and then sends me an update on Slack with all of the information, but then also summarizes what it found from the information. You just give it a prompt like that, and it will actually go and build that whole workflow using AI. So there's that tool. HubSpot also has one. Obviously, I run the Next Wave podcast, which is owned by HubSpot, but I do want to point out they've got this agent AI, same kind of concept as like Relevance AI. It looks like it's a tool where you can build your own AI agent workflows here. I do actually have access to this, but I don't know if I'm under embargo. I don't know if I'm allowed to actually show the inside of it right now. I'm sure I could actually. Here, let me sign in and see if I can use it. But this one is pretty interesting as well. I think we're gonna, again, I think like these types of tools are gonna become more and more popular, where you could just build these like AI agent workflows. So here's like some of the workflows that are in here. This meme maker was made by Dharmesh, one of the founders of HubSpot. Let's see if it actually shows the whole workflow. So generate a meme for this topic. Let's just do humanoid AI robots. And then it went through a whole bunch of steps in the background to create this meme. Excited to meet a humanoid AI that can do everything until it needs a software update. Actually not too bad. Let's see, view profile. I think maybe this is where it shows like the breakdown of what it's doing. I guess this one doesn't actually show how the back end workflow looks, but it's kind of the same idea. He sort of connect a bunch of tools together, and it does like a step-by-step sort of framework building. So yeah, Relevance AI looks like a similar concept. You can correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm totally off, and that's not what this Relevance AI does. Let me know, and I will correct myself on the stream here. Let's see. Sorry, Dylan, I'm like way behind on the questions here, so I'm jumping around. Sky E1 LLM, better than O1 preview in many areas. This is what I love about these streams, is like I feel pretty tapped in. Like I read all the news, and a lot of people submit tools to me, and I read all the newsletters and all that kind of stuff. And yet still on these streams, people point me to stuff that I haven't come across yet. What is Sky? Is it Sky T1 LLM? So is it just on GitHub here? So okay, so Sky T1, train your own O1 preview model within $450. We introduce Sky T1 32 billion preview, our reasoning model that performs on par with O1 preview on popular reasoning and coding benchmarks. Remarkably, Sky T1 32B preview was trained for less than $450, demonstrating that it's possible to replicate high-level reasoning capabilities affordably and efficiently. All code is open source. Nice. That looks interesting. What am I looking at here? Model. So data, code, report, math domain, coding domain, model weights. Okay, so I know this model weights means that they're, probably open weights where you can access them, but I'm not sure what it's trying to say here with data and code, because I know O1 can write code. So is it trying to claim that O1 can't write code, but Sky T1 can? Interesting. Yeah, I haven't played with this model yet. I haven't done a whole lot with like open source large language models, because I've said this on some past streams before, is like Claude, and between Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini, I kind of get pretty much all of my needs met, all of my large language model needs met. So I haven't messed with a lot of LLMs. I also really struggle to benchmark and test between them. Like whenever I make whenever I do some sort of like logic problem and I ask it across multiple large language models and I make a video about it, people find flaws in the logic of my logic problem and then tell me my benchmark isn't a relevant benchmark because of the flaws in my logic when creating that logic problem. And so trying to compare large language models has been a really big struggle for me. So I've just kind of stopped doing it. My buddy Matthew Berman, who I mentioned was at CES with me, he does a lot of that kind of stuff on his channel. So now I kind of tend to refer over to him and just be like, hey, have you tried this new T1 model? How does it compare to O1? And he'll usually give me details because he's doing a lot of that kind of stuff. He's testing a lot of the local models on his own computer. I think he's got his own like Nvidia A6000 that he's able to test a lot of this stuff on. So he's testing a lot of them on his computer, and then me and him have some DMs behind the scene, and I'll ask him like, how is this LLM doing versus this LLM and things like that. We've also brought him on the Next Wave podcast to do the same kind of thing, and he's kind of going to be a recurring guest where we bring him on and go, all right, tell us about all the latest large language models and how they compare to each other. But it's something that I've really, really struggled to dive deep into because I suck at comparing these. Like, when it comes to AI image models and AI video models, like there's some really good visual proof of like, okay, this image clearly looks a lot better than this image here. This video looks a lot better than this video. This video is able to generate a lot longer than this video. This video is in higher resolution, this video. Like there's visual evidence that I can look at and compare them side by side and go, okay, I, subjectively believe that this one is better than this one. When it comes to large language models, I really, really struggle with that. If I ask both of them a question and both of them give me a solid answer, how do I really compare like this one is better than this one if both of the answers are sort of relevant and correct? So that's been a struggle for me. But that's why I have friends like Matthew Berman who are much better at that than I am, and I refer to them on that kind of stuff. All right, jumping around on these questions here. All right, we already talked about Versus. We talked about CES. Answered that question. Have you seen Search 01? It's a new implementation of RAG Plus. This question came in at 11:22 and we're at 12:16. So that's how far I am behind on a lot of these questions. Have you seen Search 01? It's a new implementation of RAG plus some extra steps inside of reasoning models to enhance their chain of thought further. Let's see, Search 01. Let's do a quick search on Search 01. What it's called? Is there a dash in there? Search 01. All right. Search 01, agentic search enhanced large reasoning model. In recent years, reading models. Okay, here's what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to leverage Claude and get it to summarize this thing for me. Go ahead and pop open Claude. Paste this in here. Summarize this article for me and explain it like I'm 5. All right, so we'll look at Search 01 here. Answered that one. Yeah, answered that one. Talked about that. AI glasses, we talked about that. Withings mirror, talked about that. Nilo Cortex, never caught you live before, but been a big fan and super appreciative for a long time now for your content. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you, Nilo. Appreciate that. Drawn Dryden, use AI to give you an overview of the government document. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. I want to get around to that government document. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes here. Martin F, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Can you do a video on AI glasses, Halliday, Meta, etc.? I did one in the past. I definitely need to do an update. I did do one like almost a year ago, I think. But I definitely want to do another one. So yes, I think that's a great idea. You can see right here, I tried all the AI glasses, so you don't have to. But this was 7 months ago, and in those 7 months, there's been a lot more to come out. So this video is complete by now. So good idea. I will definitely do another one. I've gotten to see the Astra glasses now. I think I'll probably wait until Meta rolls out like their heads-up display version of the Ray-Bans, get a pair of those. Hopefully I can get my hands on some of the Halliday glasses. And then I think later this year, I don't know exactly when, they didn't give me these details. I think sometime this year we might actually get our hands on Astra glasses as well. So once I have the Hallidays, the Astras, and the Ray-Bans, and I can actually test them and compare them, I would love to do a follow-up video to that one. Let's see. E. Staffen, do you see the VLC uptitle live during CES? Yeah, I did. I saw it there at CES. I haven't really had a chance to play with it a whole lot, but I did walk by the booth. I think it'll be really helpful because I think it'll be helpful to be able to download videos from any language and watch them offline with subtitles. I think that'll be a really cool feature. I don't really have a whole lot of need to watch videos offline very often. I'm usually watching stuff on YouTube, which has subtitles built in on YouTube already. But I can see, like, if I'm going on a flight or something and I download Squid Games or whatever, I can go and watch it with American subtitles generated through VLC. But for the most part, I feel like most foreign films that are available in the US, you can also download the SRT file, which is a subtitle file. So I do think it's really cool. I think it'll be really helpful, and I think it will eliminate the need for those SRT files in the future. Yeah, at the moment, I think it's really cool and helpful, but I don't actually have a ton of use for it myself. What is your opinion on Zapier versus Make versus Nathan? I'm going for Nathan now. Mind blowing. That's a new one to me. Nathan, N-A-N. That how it's pronounced is Nathan, I'm guessing. Yeah, I've never played with this one. I love Make. I love Zapier. I actually use them both. Zapier. And the reason I use them both is because I actually think Zapier has a better YouTube integration. Make seems to still have some funky stuff pulling in videos from YouTube for whatever reason. So I use Zapier whenever I'm doing an automation with like my YouTube videos. For instance, whenever a new YouTube video comes out, I like to pull it into the Future Tools website and like link it up to the tools that it mentions. I'm able to do that with Zapier. I haven't been able to make that workflow work in Make. But I do use Make for all of the news. So whenever I publish news to my website, I'm using some automations that I built in Make. So I actually like them both, and I use them interchangeably because I think the integrations work better for certain tools on one or the other. So I have accounts with both of them, and I use them both for different automations. But this Nathan tool is not one that I've come across before. So this is what I'm going to do. I am going to add it to my, let's see, my Future Tools dashboard. I have this thing called the machine here, where whenever I come across interesting tools that I think are worth looking at, I just keep them in a spreadsheet. And then this is the spreadsheet that populates my Future Tools website as well. So I'll add it there and circle back around and play with this one some more. This looks really, really interesting here though. Yeah, I haven't played with this one yet, so I can't really give you a comparison of all three. But I'm definitely going to dive in. How much does this one cost? $20 a month for 2,500 workflow executions, 5 active workflows, 1 shared product, 5 current executions, or $50 a month. Yeah, cool. I'll dig into this one a little bit more for sure. Does it actually have? Let me look at the integrations, because that's what's really important to me. So I do a lot with Google Sheets, so that's helpful. I do some stuff with Slack, that's helpful. Discord, helpful. Google Drive, Gmail, Google Calendar, HubSpot X. Does it not have a, oh, there's load more. I want to make sure it has a YouTube integration, because for the longest time, Make.com did not have a YouTube integration. Reddit, I use Reddit. I haven't seen YouTube yet. And I've been trying to make a lot of YouTube integrations with my website where it automatically pulls my YouTube videos onto the site. And I can still use a better workflow for that, because I don't really think the integration works very well on either Make or Zapier. It works better on Zapier than Make. But I can't tell if this has a YouTube integration or not. I haven't come across it yet. PayPal. Cool. Well, I'm not going to just like scroll forever. I'm hoping it has a YouTube integration. Does it have a search? Can I search the integrations? Yeah, there we go. Being a dum-dum. All right, there we go. Yeah, it has a YouTube integration. Cool. Great workflows with YouTube integration. Popular ways to use the YouTube integration. Upload video, create a playlist, and add a video. Ooh, that's cool. Fetch a YouTube playlist and send new items to Raindrop. That's cool. I use Raindrop also. Pretty much whenever you see news on the Future Tools website, it's because I built an automation where I save the news to Raindrop, and when it gets saved to Raindrop, there's a Make.com automation that watches this Raindrop list and then adds it to the Future Tools news website. So I'm actually using it because it's got a really good integration. So very cool. I'm going to check out this Nathan N8N or whatever it's called, because that looks right up my alley for sure. All right, Dylan, what else do we got here? Ryan West says, do you have any new insider information on Alteria's Project Sid? I've got no insider information on that whatsoever. Let me pull that up here. They've got a Substack. Raindrop is the bomb. I agree, Alan. All right, what does it look like to have a civilization AI agent? Project Sid. What is Project Sid? Are we able to align the AI civilization with human civilization? We introduce Project SID, our first step towards exploring these questions. Under SID, we investigated many scenarios and aspects of society, including democracies, regulation of social norms, societal roles, hierarchies, trading, economy, religion, and more. Simulating tens, hundred, and even thousands of agents together, we discovered a phenomenon of challenges never seen before at a small scale with just a few agents. So it's simulating societies. Interesting. Naturally build digital humans to build agent societies. In developing our agents for Project SID, numerous steps were taken to improve their social capability, awareness, and internal mental processes. To enable realistic conversations, we have built social world models into our agents' behaviors. In particular, our agents form and update their models of other agents, their behaviors, views, and needs, and use this information to converse, behave in social settings. Secondly, like people, agents should be able to talk for many reasons, disclose their intentions, make small talk, share hopes and dreams. So it's basically, to me, it sounds like it's simulating real world scenarios around society, democracies, regulations, social norms. Interesting. Are there any better like resources with visuals or anything? Let's see. Yeah, let's watch this. Interesting. I wonder if it's called Project SID after Sid Meier's, who created Civilization. Because that reminded me of Civilization. And obviously AI Civilization. So it's almost like building like a AI like Civilization game and then playing out different scenarios based on religion and various political political climates and things like that. But it's got some real Civilization video game vibes to it. And obviously it's talking about Civilization, and it's also called Project SID. So I'm thinking there's, that's probably not a coincidence. Let's see. Project SID builds an entire civilization on Minecraft with AI agents. Super interesting. It's probably this is something I definitely want to do another video on and probably do a little bit more of a deep dive. I'm going to add a little note here to dive into this one a little bit more. Project SID from Altera. Pretty cool. Civilization 7 release date is around the corner, February 11th. You know what's funny about Civilization is I like the older versions of Civilization more than the newer versions. I feel like with each newer version, they make the game more and more and more complicated, and the more complicated it gets, the less I tend to like it. My favorite Civilization game, well, the early Civilization games were my favorite because I used to play them as a kid, and I just have like so much nostalgia and memory about them. But my favorite Civilization in the sort of more modern era of gaming is actually Civilization Revolution, which I used to play on my Xbox, because it's like a speed Civilization. Like you can play a whole round of Civilization in like an hour, and I loved that. It was like the least complicated version of Civilization. Anyway, sorry, random side tangent there. Dragonfly Theory, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Dark King Arthur, where do you find AI agents assistants to use or design for everyday personal use? Everyone talks about business uses, but not personal. Seniors/retired people would benefit. So, I mean, a lot of the tools we already talked about, they don't have to just be for business. It's hard for me to say without like a specific use case that you're looking for. But like anything we talked about, like Mind Studio or Agent AI, or I'm assuming this other one that we were looking at. What was the other one called that we were just looking at? I think I tossed it in here. Naton. That one does it as well. Naton.io. That one looks like you can build like these sort of automated workflows as well. Was it relevance.ai? Any of these don't have to be used for business. Any of them you can use for your own personal workflows. It just depends on what you're trying to use it for. Right? Like you can build a workflow where if you get an email that has a certain type of information in it, it will, send you a text message to let you know to check this email. I'm thinking of random examples, but I don't know exactly what workflows, a senior or retired person is looking to create, but I would imagine all of these tools can probably create that workflow for you. All right. Now I'm going to jump back. What was this one again? Search 01. All right. I sort of left off on this one. I told you I jump around a lot. Sorry about that. So Search 01, let me explain this article in a simple way, like you're 5 years old. Imagine you have a super smart robot friend who helps solve tricky problems. Sometimes when this robot is trying to figure something out, it's like when you're doing a puzzle, but some pieces are missing. Search 01 to help the robot. When the robot isn't sure about something, instead of just guessing, which might be wrong, it can now look things up, just like when you ask a grown-up. That sounds similar to Perplexity. Is this like a open source version of Perplexity? Is this one open source? Yeah, it's MIT licensed, so it seems to me like it might be almost like if you combined 01 and Perplexity, but then made it open source. That's what I'm getting out of this, at least. All right. We already looked at Versus. We already talked about the RTX 50. We already talked about Project Digits. Okay. Brandon asks, what are your thoughts on Grok? Honestly, I don't use Grok a whole lot. It's probably one of the last ones that I go to. I feel like when Grok was using the Flux model for its AI image generator, it was a lot better than when they switched to like their own internal AI image model. So I don't really think it's great at AI images yet. I also don't think it is the best large language model. I still prefer Claude or ChatGPT to what Grok would output. Saying that, I'm not counting out Grok. XAI just raised whatever $6 billion or something like that. Elon's trying to build like the world's largest GPU cluster on the planet. So I really do think Grok is probably going to catch up with a lot of the other models. I just don't think it's there yet. That's sort of my quick thoughts on Grok. All right. Somebody gave me a $4.99 super chat. I appreciate it, but I don't actually know how to read your name because it's in characters that I don't know how to read. But the question is, what is the highest amount of characters or words that can be put in VO2? Can VO2 actually handle all of them? I don't know. I'm not sure how to test that, but I think it does well with long, detailed prompts. Let me see. So, what is it? Labs.google video effects. That's the wrong account. One sec. No, go to the other account. Come on. Sign out. Sign it. Okay, here's VO. You can see like their sort of example prompt here is a really long prompt. If you want to give me a prompt that you want me to test, like a really long prompt, you can give it to me and I'll toss it in here and we can see how it does. I'm cool with that. All right. I think I've finally caught up with all the questions that Dylan has sent me in Slack. I don't think I've missed any that he shared. That doesn't mean I didn't miss any of your questions. Dylan's sending me, like if there's duplicate questions and stuff, he's sort of helping me filter and make sure that all of the relevant questions are coming to me. So I'm sure there's more coming, but I did want to do a couple other things on this stream. I came across this Instant 3D. I've been really into using like AI for 3D object generation lately. So I wanted to test this one because it looks like you can drag an image in here and it'll generate a 3D model. So I did want to test that. And I also wanted to get a little more detail about what this whole like White House article is here. So I'll go ahead and just copy and paste this one. We'll do a Claude, project, paste it in here. And I'm just going to do, give me the quick bullets of what they're proposing. All right, so let me break down the key proposals from the fact sheet. Here are the main points allowing AI technology diffusion. The U.S. is allowing unrestricted chip sales to 18 key allies and partners who have robust technology protection systems in place, letting them make large-scale purchases without barriers, small to medium chip orders, up to about 1,700 GPUs, won't need licenses or count against national caps. This will benefit universities, medical institutions, and research organizations. Companies in allied countries can get universal verified end user status if they meet high security standards. This lets them place up to 7% of their global AI compute capacity worldwide. Companies outside of countries of concern can apply for national verified end user status. Countries not classified as close allies can still purchase significant computing power, up to 50,000 advanced GPUs per country. Here's the restrictions they're implementing. Countries of concern will be limited in accessing advanced AI systems and the computing power needed to train them, though they can still use chips for general purposes like banking and telecommunications. I wonder how that's going to be enforced. The transfer of model weights for advanced closed weight models to non-trusted actors will be restricted, though open weight models aren't affected. New security standards will be implemented to protect advanced closed weight AI models while allowing their secure use globally. All right. And then Jensen wrote up I don't know if this was Jensen, but somebody at Nvidia wrote up a article here about why they don't like it. Let's just pull this in here as well. And then from the article below, what are Nvidia's objections to the proposal? All right. Based on the article, Nvidia's main objections to the Biden administration's AI diffusion rule are they view it as excessive government overreach. They argue it will hurt innovation by imposing bureaucratic control over how semiconductors, computer systems, and software are designed and marketed globally. They believe the rules go too far by controlling technology that's already widely available in consumer hardware like gaming PCs. They claim it will weaken America's global competitiveness rather than enhance security, effectively squandering America's technological advantage. They see it as contradicting what they view as successful Trump-era policies that allowed U.S. industry to compete and win on merit. They argue the regulation will derail innovation and economic growth worldwide by restricting access to mainstream computing applications. They suggest the framing as an anti-China measure is misleading since the rule would affect technology deployment worldwide. Interestingly, Nvidia's position contrasts sharply with the administration's stated goals. While the Biden administration sees the rules as protecting U.S. leadership and security, Nvidia argues they will have the opposite effect by stifling the very innovation and global deployment they believe has driven U.S. technological dominance. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, reading it, it does sound sort of anti-China to me. Like, it kind of sounds like that's what the government is going for. And obviously, Nvidia's main concern is that sort of shuts down a big market that Nvidia has, right? Nvidia wants to sell a lot of these chips to China, right? And the US has been sort of making it so they can't, and Nvidia keeps on finding new loopholes and ways to sort of modify their chips and GPUs so that they can still sell them in China. and it sounds like this might be more of like a blanket ban on shipping as much to China. That's what I'm taking out of it. But yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling, I mean, today is January 13th. Here in the US, we get a new president in a week, January 20th. And I feel like things like this will probably be overturned. I don't know if stuff like this is going to stick once Trump is in office. But I don't know. We'll find out. All right, Ron Marish, thank you so much for the $5. When can I replace my wife with a lifelike AI-powered female service bot asking for a friend? Well, if you're asking for a friend, why did you say my wife? That makes no sense. I think you're asking for yourself. I think you're lying to yourself. I don't know. I think by 2026, I think by next year, you'll be able to buy like an AI humanoid personal assistant robot that works in your house for you. I think they'll probably still be fairly expensive. I think you're going to be looking at tens of thousands of dollars. I think Elon wants to get his Optimus to like $30,000. So I think you're still going to be looking at tens of thousands of dollars in the near term, but I bet you'll be able to buy one by the end of this year. And if not, then in 2026 sometime. That'd be my prediction, but don't quote me on it. Sometimes this stuff moves a lot faster than I anticipate, and sometimes like I mentioned with CES, stuff feels like it really slows down as well. All right. I'm going to close out of a lot of this stuff that I've got open here. What else we got? Dylan, let me know if there's other questions coming across. I think I've cleared through a lot of the questions that you've already posted into Slack. So if you want to keep on scraping them and pulling them over for me, that'd be helpful here. Marcel Perham, would your thoughts on Ollie AI, as I've been using it to help me build a startup? What are your thoughts on agents being used at the web versus OS layer? All right. What is OLLE AI? AI toolbar and chat assistant. Let's take a peek. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't actually played with this one yet. Let me go ahead and toss it on my spreadsheet here as one to sort of dig into deeper. The spreadsheet open because I'll probably be adding more to it. Go to AI Assistant app available on both desktop and mobile, designed to make your life easier, whether you need to help with complex questions, brainstorming ideas, or just getting things done. Ollie is there for you. Ollie works wherever you are, whether that is local on your machine or in your pocket. Effortlessly switch between your favorite websites and apps. And when you need Ollie, it just takes a keystroke. All right. Use cases: virtual assistant, language translation, pair programming, personal tutor, email writing, market research, marketing, search engine optimization, AI agent, chat mode, toolbar, one-click SEO, multiple languages. I'm trying to understand what it actually does. Let's see. So it puts a little toolbar on your computer. Is it actually running locally, or is it using like a cloud service? Because part of this question from Marcel here was, what are your thoughts on agents being used at the web versus OS level? Is this being used at the OS level? Is that what's going on here? I'm assuming, because it's showing Mac, iPad, and iOS, so it's obviously not being used in the browser. I think we're going to see a lot more stuff being built in at the OS level. Some of, obviously like Microsoft has their Copilot, which is, their AI at the OS level here, but it's still sending questions to their cloud, right? It's still using like their version of the OpenAI model. I think it's using GPT-4o still. But I think what we're going to actually start to see is at the operating system level, more and more of the AI running on device. I actually got a demo of LG's new computer that they're working on, where they're building a whole bunch of AI features directly into like the operating system, and it will run on device. And then when you need it to answer an even more difficult or deeper question, and then it will then ping, ChatGPT or Claude or whatever model you plug in and decide is your favorite model to use. But I think we're going to see more and more of this AI built in at the operating system level. If I had to guess, I think tools like this are probably going to struggle in the long term, mostly because of the fact that I just think Apple and Microsoft are going to build these types of things into the operating system. I think this is going to be like a fairly transient tool where stuff like this, people will use now, but give it 3 months and your Mac is just going to have these features built into it. Your Windows computer is just going to have these features built into it. That would be my guess. I think it's very, very likely that a lot of the operating systems are just going to bake this in. Could be wrong though. I'm just making some random predictions here. Let's see. Swagati Inc. Have you played with Amaro? That one sounds familiar. I might have come across that one. Let's take a peek. Not Amaro Liquor. Let's go. Amaro AI. Create, edit, collaborate, all with Amaro. Unlock the full potential of AI with Amaro. Seamlessly use and combine leading AI models across all modalities. Fine-tune them on your assets. Edit their outputs and bring your ideas to life with collaborative workflows. I'm not sure what these pictures are showing me here. See, from product photo shoots to AI-generated mood boards, video concepts, and unique fine-tuned models, Amaro helps creators, businesses, and teams turn ideas into stunning results. Whether you're designing, generating, or iterating, our tools adapt to your needs. Perfect product photos powered by AI. Your assets, your models. Train custom AI models using your assets to make them experts on your products, visuals, or creative style. So it's almost like an all-in-one AI e-commerce platform that helps you generate product. This is what I'm guessing. I'm not saying this is exactly what it is. This is sort of my takeaway from looking at it. But it's like an all-in-one AI platform that helps you with product photos. You train it on a whole bunch of your photos of your product, and then you can put that product in different environments for product photos on your e-commerce website. You train it on information about your product, and then it can help, generate copy and write about your product for social media and things like that. And then you can build like custom AI workflows. I think you create longer form content, experiment, and iterate with ease. So it's trained on your product photos. It's trained on information and documents about your photos. And then you can build these almost like comfy UI looking node based workflows to make things work together. Precision editing enhanced by AI. So you can like remove stuff in the background of images. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty cool on first look. What's the pricing look like? All right, so they got a free tier. That's always cool. I love it when AI tools let you test it before you spend money on it. 3 workflows at once, access to most models, unlimited ChatGPT use, 40 generation credits per day. Fine tune. Okay, so you can't fine tune it on your personal assets on the free version. For $4 a month, not bad at all. But you still can't fine tune it at the $4 a month plan. 10 workflows, most models. So it looks fairly similar to some of those other workflow builders we were looking at earlier on the more basic plans. And then once you get up into the higher end plan for $24 a month, which still seems very reasonable if you're like fine tuning it on all of your own stuff. That's when you get into like being able to load your own images and things into it. Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely dig into that one a little bit more. Let me add it to my spreadsheet here. Aiden O'Brien, I saw my tools on your list, which means my competitive edge is gone. Saw my tools on your list. Which tools are that? I'm not sure which tools is your tool, but I'm not sure which tool it is, so I can't really comment on that. Let's see, Wasim Ahmed, alternative AI tool to Blender where I can add movement / animation to my AI model. It should be easy to use. Let me think. Alternative AI tool to Blender. So, I mean, you've got tools like this where you can upload an image, but I don't think it's going to animate it for you. Let me see. Does Meshy animate for you? And then there's also going to open up a bunch of AI 3D tools. You've got Tripo AI. This one, I think one of them does some sort of animation. I just don't remember which one. Tripo does 3D scenario generator. 3D video generator, auto rigging, animation. So it looks like Tripo 3D AI is going to have this feature soon, but it's not in there yet. But this is one where you can sort of prompt 3D objects, and it looks like you'll be able to actually turn them into 3D videos. Does Meshy do this? Don't remember. Animation. So yeah, Meshy might be what you're looking for. Animation made easy for all creators. A one-stop solution for creating animated characters designed for artists and developers in game, film, XR, and beyond. Yeah, so I would say, Wasim, if you're looking for an alternative to Blender where you can add movement and animation, Meshy might be your go-to. Let me log in here. I think I'm just on a free account. I can't remember if I'm paying for this one or not. I'm bad. I pay for a lot of subscriptions. It is an embarrassing amount of subscriptions that I pay for, but I can't remember if this is one of them or not. My profile, my stuff, my assets. Okay, here we go. So I made like this 3D wolf where I literally just gave it a prompt, realistic wolf, brown fur, high quality HDR. If I wanted to animate this, how would I go about that? I may not have animation because I might be on a free plan. Actually, I'm going to double check which plan I'm on. Oh, it says it right at the top. You're currently on the free plan. Animation. How do I use it? So it'd be cool if there was a button somewhere to take one of the assets I already created and then pull it into an animation. Is this it? What does this do? Let's rotate it this way. Okay, so now, okay, so I can rig it up. So it looks like this might be able to animate. So chin, yeah, shoulders about there. Forearm. Let me just rig this up and see how these animations look. There. Why does it think that's the shin? Yeah, that's the tail. And here's our, let's see how this animates. I've actually never played with Meshy's animation features, so this will be my first time actually seeing how this works as well. All right, Julius says, what is the best tool for image to 3D models for complex objects like a lifelike tree? Tools like Trellis struggle to convert these complex shapes at the moment. Well, I'm going to test this Instant 3D. This is a new one I just came across, but this one I believe you've got to upload an image. So maybe why don't we generate a tree with Leonardo? I don't know what prompt to give it. Let's see, a complex objects like a lifelike tree. I'll just type lifelike tree and see what it gives me. And I'm going to use the flow state because then it just generates a ton of images for me and I can pick the one I like the best. Oh, look at that. So here's our animation that it made on our wolf right there. A little bit of funkiness going on, but you know, we're getting closer. We're getting there. It looks like the only option for animation is a walking animation. From this angle, it doesn't look too bad. when I flip it around, this leg's looking a little bit wonky here. But yeah, there you go. Wasim was asking about a tool to create 3D objects and then animate them similar to Blender. Meshy right now, from what I can tell, is probably going to be your best bet. And I bet we can get this leg looking right. If I sort of go back and adjust some of the rigging a little bit, I bet we can get it looking slightly better. Yeah, I'll go ahead and save it. So now I've got it saved to my assets here. So if I look at animations, here's my animation of my wolf. Pretty sweet, actually. All right, so lifelike tree. Let's look on our flow state and pick a lifelike tree and then see what happens when we try to pull it into something like Instant 3D or Meshy. How is this a lifelike tree? Come on. I want one where like the whole tree is in view. Let's go ahead and try this one here. That's not very lifelike. That almost looks like a tree made out of clay. But you know what? Let's just try it anyway. I think it looks kind of cool. Pull this into Instant 3D. Generate 3D model. I'll go ahead and log in. Let's see if it can figure out how to generate this tree for us. Okay, so free generations, it looks like you get 3 generations. So let's see how it does. Hopefully we can get it to look good within one of 3. Let's see. Thanks, Jen. A very good live show, Matt. You're the best AI curator. I know you give a lot to us. Keep up the great work. I really appreciate that. I always feel very sort of all over the place on these live streams, but I just love digging into it all. Nicole, thanks for the $2. When can I replace my husband with a robot? It depends on what you need your husband robot to do. All right, we'll let that go. Let me try that same image over here in Meshy here. I kind of wish it was a little more intuitive sometimes. Image to 3D. Let's pull that same tree in here. Oops. Closed out of my folder. I'll pull the tree in right here. I'll give it a name. Purple tree. Oops. Oh, it named it for me. Enchanted amethyst tree. Yeah, that's cool. That works. Let's go ahead and generate it. Hopefully one of these models pops it up pretty quickly. So I created a model of the 3D tree. It's a little bit dark, but I mean, that actually is a little bit better than I was expecting. Let's look at the wireframe. Look at that. That's actually really, really solid. I'm really impressed by that. I wish it was a little bit brighter. Like it made it really dark. For whatever reason, I'm struggling to rotate it. There we go. But I mean, not bad at all, honestly. So this Instant 3D can generate 3D objects of things like trees, but again, I started with an image. I used Leonardo, generated the image with Leonardo, and then pulled it into Instant 3D to get this. Let's see what Meshy's doing here. So Meshy gave us 3 options, and then we can sort of optimize one of the options. I'm thinking Instant 3D looks better already just based on the options it gave us. But let's go ahead and just do this one and confirm it. Actually, I'm going to do a triangle, and then we'll confirm it. And now it's going to sort of optimize it and clean it up a little bit. But the Instant 3D, like, that is, in my opinion, pretty good looking. Just wish it was brighter, which wouldn't be too hard to do if you pulled it into Blender. See, it's really dark on this side of the tree. And then if you look at it from like this angle, the colors are fine. So there's a little bit of a consistency issue with the color. You know, if I was able to add like light sources in here, it would probably look a little bit better. Download it just so I have it on my hard drive. And then let's see, is Meshy still working? All right, so it's at 50% right now. Is my audio sounding okay? I heard somebody saying turn the gate threshold a tiny bit lower. Let me see. Actually, I have my noise gate turned off right now. I'm not using a noise gate at the moment. I actually don't want to mess with this too much because there's somebody doing gardening in the yard next door to me, and I can hear their weed whacker going. All right, so here's our tree that Meshy made. Yeah, if you compare it, I mean, I actually like how it's lit a little bit better coming out of Meshy. I like how it's like bright and easy to see, but I definitely think there's way more detail in the version that Instant 3D gave us. Like this version's a lot more detailed. This one's not bad either, though. It's really not that bad. It's just like we zoom in here and you can see it's just looking a little chunky and angly, right? Like all of these hard angles here. Where if you look at Instant 3D, it's definitely a lot more like rounded off looking. But the 3D object AI stuff has been really fun to play with lately. Been really enjoying it. You know what I want to do, actually? This could be kind of fun. See if I can generate an image of myself, turn it into a 3D object, and then rig it up inside of Mixamo. Let's see. Audio dips occasionally for a fraction of a second. Let's see. I don't want to spend too much time messing with this, but let me see what I can do here. And all right, so I turned something down a little bit. Hopefully this sounds a little better. Dylan, let me know. Give me some feedback over here in Slack if my audio sounded any better. Let's see. Swagati, while live streaming, what tool would be best to generate a background to make it look like I'm streaming live from like Paris or on a beach? I would suggest Nvidia Broadcast. That works really well for that kind of thing. Let me see. Actually, I don't think I can turn on Nvidia Broadcast right now. I think it would screw up all my cameras. But yeah, Nvidia Broadcast is a free tool that can do that for you. I'll show you real quick. So this one, it's totally free. There's no cost to use it at all, but it actually does like a sort of fake green screen thing. Got this eye contact feature, which is it doesn't work very well yet, but supposedly they announced at the Nvidia event that they're upgrading this feature. But this one will do like an automatic background removal for you. Why are they not showing it? Here you go, virtual background. So yeah, Nvidia Broadcast is I actually used to do virtual backgrounds. Like if you look at like my older YouTube videos from like 2 years ago, let's see, you'll actually notice that on some of them I'm doing like these colorful virtual backgrounds. Let's see, when did I start doing that? I did it somewhere on one of these on some of these videos. I'm not seeing it though. Oh, here we go. Here's one. In this video, you can see I did my lighting was not dialed in. I did not know what I was doing, but this was using Nvidia Broadcast. If I had a actual like good light on my face, this would have looked a lot better. But yeah, Nvidia Broadcast is what I would suggest for that. Really, really simple to use. All right, Dylan's telling me we're sounding good now, so hopefully audio should be better. Hopefully it's not cutting out on us anymore. I brought down, I don't have my noise gate turned on, but I have another thing turned on called Rough Rider that also I think has a noise gate built in, so I turned that down a little bit. All right, Philip Roberts, what spec PC you currently using right now? So this is a PC. It's got an RTX 4080 GPU in it. It's got an Intel i9 CPU in it. I've got a if you're considering both my NAS and the internal storage, my main unit I think has about 8 terabytes of hard drive space, and then my NAS has 40 terabytes of hard drive space. So all of like my video footage goes onto my NAS. And then I'm running 64 gigabytes of RAM on this computer as well. And I've got a special Elgato, what do they call it? I've got a Cam Link Pro on here, which has 4 HDMI inputs. So I can run up to 4 cameras into my computer at once as well. It's a pretty decked out PC. I built it about 2 years ago though. When the 5090s come in, I'm actually going to build a new PC with the 5090. I'm probably going to have almost all the exact same specs outside of the 5090 though. I'm going to sort of max out my RAM. Probably about 8 terabytes is pretty good on the local computer, because I do have my NAS where I can send storage. If you don't know what a NAS is, it's networked attached storage. It's basically a hard drive that connects into your router inside of your house. And because it's connected to your router, any device that's on the same network as you can actually use that hard drive space. So I'm able to put stuff on my NAS, and then let's say I download a video, I can put it on my NAS, and then my TV out in my living room, because it's Wi-Fi connected and on the same network, those videos will actually show as available on that TV. Or if I'm on my laptop in my bedroom, like in bed working, while I'm on this same network, it will also find that NAS. It's almost like an internal Dropbox or internal Google Drive. So I've got one of those as well. So that's where I'm dumping all of my video footage onto. And I also have the NAS directly wired in through a 10 gigabit Ethernet port on my computer, so that I can basically edit files right off of my NAS, but only on my main PC. I can access all the files from anywhere in my home, but I can only edit them on my main PC, because that's the only PC that's directly wired in. Super nerdy, super in the weeds right now. But that's pretty much my setup. I got dual monitors. They're both 32-inch monitors. And I got a Stream Deck, so I can do, stuff like switching to full screen or taking myself off the screen. So yeah, that's pretty much my setup. I think that's everything. I don't know if I probably missed some stuff. I also have a teleprompter here that I almost never use, but I keep it on my desk because I do use it when we record the Next Wave podcast. When we record, I like to make it look like I'm actually looking at the person I'm talking to. So I hook up my teleprompter, and then when we're doing interviews with people, I'm actually looking straight into the camera, and then I can see them on my teleprompter. But I don't use it for any of my videos. I don't actually script any of my videos. Everything is off the cuff. I tend to be a rambler. I guess you could say I've got the gift of gab. I can just talk forever on almost anything. So I don't really feel the need for the teleprompter. I just ramble for 2 hours when I record videos, and then edit it down to the 20 to 30 minute videos you see now. Let's see. Spontanelli. Hey, Matt, just wanted to say thank you for all your fantastic AI updates. You have inspired me to play around and work on AI. Massively grateful. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Let's see. Fill up a giveaway for your loyal fans. Did I miss the message before that? Giveaway. NAS recommended model brand. I have a Synology NAS. The NAS that I have is a 4-bay model. So it's got 1, 2, 3. So yeah, it's got four 10 terabyte hard drives in it, bringing it up to 40 terabytes. But there's redundancy built in, so it's really only actively using 20 terabytes, but it duplicates between the hard drives. So whenever I save a file to it, it actually stores that file on 2 different hard drives. That way, if one of the hard drives fails, there's actually a backup of it. So there's like some additional redundancy built in. Dr. Dimples. I just wanted to say, keep doing what you're doing, Matt. You're straight up killing it. Much love. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see. Chris Larson. What is the transfer rate of files from PC to network drives? If you're direct wired in with a 10 gigabit Ethernet, it's like really fast. If you're trying to do it over Wi-Fi, it's fairly slow. I don't know the exact transfer rate off the top of my head. I could try to transfer something to my NAS real quick and tell you. Let's see. So I'm going to throw something on my NAS real quick and then tell you how fast it's transferring. So this, I'm going to transfer a file that's 5 megabytes. If I paste it in, oh, it was instant. So that wasn't fast. That wasn't slow enough for it to actually tell me how fast the transfer was. Let me find a bigger file here. All right, here's a 16 gigabyte file. I'm going to go ahead and copy that, throw it on my NAS, and this should tell me. So you can see here, it's transferring at about 250 megabytes per second, 240 megabytes per second. So this is, you know, almost a 16 gigabyte file. This is a video of the Samsung keynote. I filmed the whole thing for some reason, even though the whole thing was live streamed. I filmed it myself as well. But this was 16 gigabytes, and this is how fast it's transferring to my NAS as I move it over there right now. It's actually already on my NAS. I'm just transferring it again to show off the speed. And then I'm going to go ahead and stop it because I don't actually really need it to copy over there. I can't, let's see. So we got almost 1,800 people tuning in on Twitter right now, almost 400 people on YouTube, and 5 people over on Twitch. Thank you everybody for tuning in. This is actually the largest amount of people we've had live on a live stream right now. Let's see. I'm going to skim through the comments here, see if there's any other questions coming up. The eye feature is creepy. I actually tried using the eye feature once on a video, and it was really weird. It was like, it would like focus my eyes into the camera, and then it make it look like I was looking down and looking up and looking down and looking up. It just looked like I was tweaking out and on drugs or something. I was not a fan of that. All right, I'm not seeing the questions pop up in Slack, so I'm just going through the chat here and seeing what else you guys are asking. Let's see, is there a tool that has the WordPress code base built in for generating working plugins? I'm not sure. It's not something I've actually looked for so far. But if somebody in the comments knows, let me know. I haven't really tried to do anything with the WordPress code base. Do we see a movie in 2025 where it is impossible to say that it is not film? I don't know. I'm having a hard time saying yes to that prediction for 2025. I think there'll be sort of like telltale signs that it was generated with AI. I don't think 2025, especially if we're talking like full length movie, if you're talking like, you know, 90 minutes plus, I don't know. I think you're going to start to see signs of AI throughout it. Can you make a more realistic tree like the ones in Avatar, Tree of Souls? Let's see. Well, I gave it the prompt lifelike tree. Let me just look through the flow state here and see if there's any more realistic looking ones. Like here's one with some light shining through it. I only have 2 more test generations left, so I want to make sure I get the right tree if we're going to test it. Let's see. Yeah, I did kind of pick a purple, unnatural looking tree. So if we are looking for an actual realistic tree, that one wasn't great. What does the Tree of Souls look like? It's been a while. I've watched Avatar. So one with like the danglies. see. Is there just a good image of one already that I can just rip and throw over there? Or maybe I can type Tree of Souls. See what it gives me. All right, while we're waiting for that, Converse Nation. Let's build Perplexity into your coolest to help you answer questions and build a 3D model for their avatar and have it participate in the general conversation. Oh, sorry, I misread that. Let's build Perplexity into your co-host to help you answer questions and build a 3D model for their avatar and have it participate in the general conversation. You know, it's funny because Nvidia showed something off that's going to do that, right? They actually built like an AI avatar that sits in the corner of your screen that is purely designed to be your co-host during live streams. And it was weird. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of it. Like the audio still sounded very AI generated. And a lot of the stuff that it said was kind of cliche. But yeah, I think, you know, that kind of stuff is going to be built into streaming software soon. Let me see. Maybe I've got the news article about it over on Future Tools. Maybe I didn't share that one. I do have like a little video that I did of it though. Let me see. Where is it? Nvidia. So here you can see how it's got this little like AI assistant that they created and put in the corner. This one's actually one that was designed to live on like your Windows PC and help you with issues like, hey, my computer's running slow. Can you help me figure it out? And it would literally like go and clear up like RAM for you and stuff like that to help speed up your computer. And it just like sits in the corner and talks to you. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I don't think like a actual avatar is necessary. Like, I'd be happy just talking to my computer without like a little face in the corner talking back. But that's what that one was designed for. But they also showed off one. Maybe I can find the video of it real quick. Nvidia AI avatar PUBG. That's what they showed it off. Like, let's watch this demo when I find it because it's kind of funny. Nvidia redefines games AI with ACE autonomous game characters. Oh, this one might be actual characters that play the game with you. Yeah, that's not the one. It was for streaming. Let's see. What was it? What was it called? Nvidia AI streaming co-host. Try that. Virtual AI co-host. Okay, let's see.
Hey there! I'm your intelligent streaming assistant. I can join you on stream as a sidekick, help produce your broadcast, and configure or solve any issues with your stream. As your sidekick, I can interact with your chat, answer questions, and I'll make sure to let you know when you miss that key headshot.
All right, chat, let's get some wins. Where should we drop?
Canyon Crossing got the most votes, but that's where you rage quit when you couldn't clutch it last game. You brave enough to try again?
Hey, if chat asks, I answer. Let's drop.
Good luck. This might be a quick one. I can also act as your producer, completely in the background. I'll adapt your stream to what's happening in game. When something exciting goes down, I can trigger audio, play videos, change scenes, and much more.
Did you see that? That was insane. Can you save that clip?
Clipped it for you. Chat's asking to watch.
Give the people what they want. Let's see it.
By the way, you missed a tip while you were playing. Brian came in big with $25.
Brian, thank you. This one's for you. In a cone, in a cone, in a cone. Dead. That was insane.
And lastly, I can help you set up your scenes or even troubleshoot technical issues. Plus, I'll be monitoring your stream to make sure everything is running smooth.
Oh, sorry about that, chat. As I was saying, this is the future of live streaming.
So yeah, maybe that's the future of live streaming. But that was like the co-host that they showed off, and I mean, when I saw it in person, I was kind of like, I don't know. I mean, somebody just said in the chat here, Nvidia bringing back Clippy. I think it'd be Justinify. I think it'd be better if the avatar looked more fictional versus trying to look like a real person. Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be kind of funny if it was like more of like a cartoony character. But also, like, tools like 11 Labs exist. Why are we not making these voices sound a little more realistic? But yeah, so somebody brought that up that, you know, I should use Perplexity and have an AI avatar co-host with me. And, well, that's coming. That's the future of live streaming, according to Nvidia. We'll see. Let's see. Plus jobs. Do you think Anthropic will catch up to O3 in the next few months? I don't know. The thing about O3 is it's still insanely expensive to run. So I don't know. Hard to say. I think a lot of these companies know how to do similar stuff. You know, it's more so like O1 and O3, super oversimplified version of what they're doing is they're still using very similar models underneath to like a GPT-4o and the sort of existing state of the art models. But when you ask it a question, it'll give you a response, and then it sort of double checks its answer, and then triple checks its answer, and then quadruple checks its answer, and sort of like kind of does multiple passes over the answer that it's going to give you, and then actually shows you the response. So it's got this like extra layer of double, triple, quadruple checking and like sort of reanalyzing its answer before presenting the answer to you. And so I don't see any reason why like Anthropic and some of those tools couldn't do something similar. But right now it's just really, 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 really expensive to run. Like the inference phase, when you ask it a question, was like on their larger version of O3, it was costing them like $3,000 per task that it was giving it. So it's just really, really expensive to do right now. But I don't see any reason why, you know, Gemini and Claude and a lot of these other tools aren't going to have those sort of features in the future. I just don't think they're going to make them public anytime real soon until they can either bring the cost down or until they have a much higher paid tier to be able to use them. All right, Dave Alicious of VFX. Are there any AI tools for Unreal Engine blueprints you can advise if there are any? Any AI tools for Unreal Engine blueprints? I haven't come across any. Does Unreal might even have some AI built in now, right? Unreal. We go Unreal Engine AI. Artificial intelligence in Unreal. So Unreal has a bunch of its own AI built into it, but I don't actually build a ton with Unreal Engine myself. I've played with it a tiny bit in the past, just screwing around, but it's not something I've dove deep into. But I would just look into what Unreal Engine has built into it, because they do have a bunch of AI stuff that helps you generate things in it now. Have you seen, let's see, P. Staffen, have you seen the Luma Dream teaser trailer? And what are your thoughts? I don't know if I've seen it or not yet. How long ago did it come out? Luma, I'm assuming Luma Dream Machine. Let me just go to YouTube. Luma Dream Machine. Or is it just Luma Dream? If it's the Dream Machine, that's been out for a little bit now. Let me see. Luma Dream trailer. I'm not actually sure which trailer you're referring to. Almost all the trailers I've seen have been out for a while. Maybe it's over on X. So there's one from November 25th. Oh, there's one from January 10th. All right, let's check this one out. It's only 16 seconds. Let's see. Bring the audio down a bit.
Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream.
Okay, so that's the whole trailer. I mean, it looks really cool. Yeah, my first thoughts are like, look at that face right there. Like, that's got some detail in it. But I mean, just looking at this, it doesn't look like anything we don't get from like VO right now. Like, let's see. I wish I knew what prompts they were using. Like a close-up face of a warrior with mud on their face holding a torch. Let's try something like that. A close-up image of warrior holding a torch with mud on their face. Let's see if we can get something somewhat close to that. But no, that trailer looked really, really good. Really, really impressive. I just wish I knew what prompts they had, because I like sort of testing between the various video tools that are out there. That's gonna take a couple minutes, so we'll check back on that one in a sec here. Let's see, Swagati. So you can do a live podcast with Elon, Steve Jobs, Sam Altman, and Yoda at the same time. Yeah, of course. That'd be fun. Justify. Amazon has invested billions into Anthropic over the last few months. They have to be cooking something. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we already know that the Amazon Alexas are going to be using Anthropic in the early days. Amazon's invested, I can't remember, like almost $12 billion. I know they recently did $6 billion, but let's see. I'm going to ask Perplexity. How much has Amazon invested to Anthropic? Google is also an investor in Anthropic too. Nobody ever talks about that, but they were like one of their earliest investors. Okay, so an initial $4 billion investment in 2023, and then another $4 billion in 2024. So, yeah, almost $8 billion. How much has Google invested into Anthropic? You're also getting a glimpse into the type of stuff I ask Perplexity all day long. Like, I just get random questions in my head and I just jump over to Perplexity and go, I want to know the answer now. Perplexity helps me. All right, Google has invested $2 billion into Anthropic. So $500 million up front, and then a commitment of $1.5 billion over time. So both Google and Amazon are investors in Anthropic, but obviously Amazon's a much larger investor in Anthropic. We're seeing a lot of that lately, where like Microsoft is making big investments into OpenAI, but then also building competing products. And then Google's a big investor in Anthropic, but also building competing products. Amazon's a big investor in Anthropic, but Amazon's also building their own large language models and competing products. So pretty fascinating to watch. But yeah, I think Justify was bringing that up, is like when somebody asked, are they going to catch up with O3? Well, you know, most likely they're getting a lot of money pumped into them. Let's see. HCS voice packs. AI agents for gaming is what we want. Companions. Yeah, that was another thing that Nvidia announced as well. What was it called? I think we were just looking at them a minute ago. It was the thing I pulled up first. So Nvidia AI. Yeah, it was the PUBG thing. They were playing with other gamers. Let's see if we can take a peek at. I think they have a video on this one as well. Yeah, this PUBG ally is actually like an AI, like co-gamer that plays with you co-op. Odo Godfrey. I watch your show daily when doing burpees the whole time, except this one's too long for burpees. Keep doing them. Just keep doing them.
At Crafton, we are revolutionizing the Battle Royale genre with generative AI. Introducing PUBG Ally, the world's first co-playable character designed to play like a human teammate. Hey Ally, I'm looking for a level 3 vest and 5.56 ammo. Keep your eyes peeled.
Found a level 3 vest and ammo nearby. Pinged it for you. Enemy spotted. I'm covering.
Is there a vehicle nearby?
Found one. I will come to you.
I'm ready to get into the action now. Can you flank them?
On it. Moving left. Wait. I'm knocked out. Crawling to you now.
Just hang on. Whew, I couldn't have done it without you.
I know. I carry for a living.
So yeah, that was Nvidia's demo of like an actual like co-player in a video game with you. So even let's see who brought that up again. Let's see. HCS voice packs. They were asking about AI agents for gaming. So I mean, Nvidia's working on that. They've got one for PUBG. So I'm sure more games are coming. We've seen one for Minecraft already as well. I don't remember what that one was called, but we've definitely seen it. What was the AI agent that plays Minecraft with you? Altera agent. We were already talking about that one earlier. That's the one that's like the civilization kind of thing. Microsoft Copilot, MindPal. It's not actually bringing up the one that I was thinking of, but there's one that came. Oh, Voyager. That's the one I'm thinking of. So yeah, the AI like co-player is something that it's coming. Like they're bubbling up for sure. Let's check out our video effects here. This should show up in a minute here. Close-up image of a warrior holding a torch with mud on their face. So let's look at this one. This one's looking pretty. I mean, it's like similar level to what we were seeing from that other one from, was it Luma? I mean, like this video FX or VO2 from Google, I feel like is pretty close to that level of what Luma Dream Machine was showing off. See if we can pair it. Where was it? So this one, I was trying to make like this shot. I actually think the lighting is better in Luma's version. I like how it's like much darker.
Let's suppose.
Mute that. I like how it's like much darker, and then like the flame is sort of casting better shadows. So I actually think this one looks slightly better. But I mean, we're getting pretty solid looking realism out of VO2. So Mitch is asking, are PCs better for AI than a Mac? I mean, sort of. So like most of the various like AI tools that you run locally, like Stable Diffusion and a lot of various like language models and stuff, they work better just using Nvidia GPUs. But saying that, a lot of them are working on Macs now. Like Stable Diffusion still doesn't work great on Macs, but because of cloud services, you got tools like RunPod out there. You know, you can create your own Hugging Face space and like duplicate a space and run it in the cloud. And you've got tools like Replicate and stuff like that. Like if you're willing to generate the stuff in the cloud, it doesn't really matter whether you're using a PC or a Mac. And a lot of those services too are going to be running on GPUs that are much better than the GPU you're using at home. Like if you're using Hugging Face and you duplicate a space on Hugging Face, you can use like an H100 and generate with like a super powerful GPU. So I don't really think it matters whether you're using a PC or a Mac to be able to do the AI stuff. But if you want to run locally on your own computer, I feel like as of right now, there's still more stuff that you can do with Nvidia GPU specifically. So if you're trying to run locally, I do feel like you're going to get a little more mileage out of a PC currently. I wonder if you will be able to train your own face into VO eventually. Maybe. I don't know. I think Google is probably afraid of that because if you can train your own face into it, that means theoretically you could probably train anybody's face into it, meaning it would be easier to create deep fakes and stuff like that. And I don't think Google wants to go down that path. I do think there's going to be more and more AI video tools that allow you to train your own face into them and allow you to train other people's face into them. I just don't think Google is going to be it. That's my honest thought on that. All right. I've run to the end of my questions here. Let's see, what else do we got? I'm going to hang out for probably another 20 minutes or so. Most of these live streams, I end up going about 3 hours. And after about 3 hours, I feel like my brain is kind of fried and I need to go take a nap. So I'm planning on hanging out for another 20 minutes, which is always a shame because I'm actually seeing the amount of viewers go up. We have almost 2,000 watching on X right now. So it's like, it's kind of crazy. It's viewers are still going up even as we get 2.5 hours into this stream. All right. Spontanelli, Matt, are Claude the best model to prompt documents to prompt beautiful AI with for creating? I need to read that one again. Are Claude the best model prompt documents to prompt beautiful AI for creating slides? I'm not understanding the question. When I upload, I like using Claude to upload documents. That's my favorite for like actually uploading documents. But I'm not understanding the slides part because Claude doesn't really generate slides for you. So I'm not actually sure. Maybe you can rephrase that question and I could probably give you a better answer on that. I want to jump back over and see if we can get this realistic 3D tree because I kind of dropped the ball on that one. All right, I'm just going to go back to like life like tree. Then I'll let it sort of automatically improve the prompt for me because they've got this prompt enhancer. Although, even though I'm telling it lifelike tree, I'm not feeling like most of these trees it's giving me are very lifelike. But we'll find one. We'll find one. That one's kind of cool, but it almost looks too similar to the one I already prompted. Let's see, what's a good lifelike tree? Maybe what I'll do, I also really like ideogram for a lot of this kind of stuff, so let's see what ideogram gives me. Which AI does slide presentations based on prompts? Canva, I don't think will really do slide presentations yet, based on prompts. Oh, I'm just loving these images that it generated. I was trying to get I think this one was so here's the prompt: a clean-shaved white man wearing a Santa cap, handing a gift to another man, white man with a short brown beard, colorful photo. For whatever reason, it did shirtless. Like, there's nothing in this prompt that was asking for a shirtless photo, but that's what it gave me. Obviously, I didn't end up using those for a thumbnail. All right, that's a little more lifelike of a tree here. That one's a little cartoony looking. I don't know how the background of this is going to do. I'm going to generate another one. As far as doing slides, there's the Tome. Yeah, Tome is one that will do AI. No, that's not it. They changed their business model, or is this something completely different? All right, here's what I'll do. Let's look at the future tools for slides, because there's a handful on here. So you've got magic slides, auto slide. Oh, there's gamma. There's presentary. So there's a handful of tools that will AI generate slides for you. Professional AI presentation slides. You give it the topic, it'll generate AI slides for you. So let's just give it the topic. I don't know, quantum computing. I don't know why I always go to that. So generate a PowerPoint, sign in. See what it gives us. Oh, it reset it. I hate it when they do that. So this one doesn't have any sort of free samples, so I'm out. Let's move on. I don't really like AI tools that don't let me try it for free first. If you're not going to let me try it for free, I'm probably not going to pay for it. Like, at least give me like one slide presentation for free so I can see if you do what I want before paying for it. But I don't know. It's just a personal thing of mine. Like, I don't mind paying for tools. I just want to try before I buy. Like Gamma, try for free. Yes, I'll try for free. Because if I like it, I'll end up paying for it. You don't give me a chance to try it for free, you're probably not going to get my business. Kind of a jerk like that. All right, so let's go ahead and create a new slide deck in Gamma. What you'd like to make a presentation about quantum computing. Sending cool things to check out. Cool. I'll open this. We'll check that out in a minute. All right, so it made this outline here. What is quantum computing, quantum advantage, qubits and quantum states, etc. Go ahead and continue. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just use all your default. Start. Close out of some other stuff I got going here. Man, these trees look like identical to the first set of trees almost. Give me some variation. All right, let's try realistic tree. Do photo of a tree. Then we've got this other presentation software, but let's just go ahead and see what we get out of. Oh shoot, did I close that? I'm an idiot. Did I do that? I think I closed out of Gamma. Too many apps open and I'm closing out of stuff I shouldn't have closed out of. But it looks like it's still generating it anyway. So yeah, this built like a whole whole slide presentation for me. The aspect ratio is a little weird. It doesn't look like a proper slide aspect ratio, but I'm sure that's just a setting I skipped over, honestly. Let's see. Forms and buttons, charts. I bet if I go and create a new one. Yeah. 16 by 9. So I didn't actually set the aspect ratio properly. So you can get like a legit proper aspect ratio, but here's like a quick slide deck that it created on quantum computing for me. So if you're looking for something to generate slides with AI, Gamma app seems to be one of the better ones that are out there right now. And then let's see, Dylan's sending me some other cool stuff to pull up. So I'm going to pull it up and look at it in a second. Have you fine-tuned your own model yet? Not customizing an AI agent, but a new personal LLM. What's the best, cheapest method for that? Will Nvidia do it? I haven't fine-tuned my own large language model. I fine-tuned my own AI art model. So I have a fine-tuned model that has my face trained into it from a Stable Diffusion model. So I can generate like AI thumbnails with my face and things like that. But I've never done it with a large language model. I haven't really found it necessary. There hasn't really been do that. I use like retrieval augmented generation. So I'll give it documents, or I'll give it information, and I'll let it use that for context using things like Claude projects and GPTs and things like that. Runner Productions, I'm guessing you can't train your own 14 billion parameter model on like a 5090, or it would just take weeks. Yeah, probably not, but maybe on the digits like computer, like the small digit supercomputer, you might be able to do it on that. I don't know yet. We'll find out. Because that one you could probably just let it keep on running. Let's see, Spontanelli, Matt, Claude can make docs you flip in beautiful AI for creating slides for one-pagers and sales decks. Claude can do that? I haven't actually used Claude for that. I did not know Claude was capable of making slide decks. Create a slide deck for me that explains quantum computing. It's amazing. Like I said earlier on this live stream, like I'm learning about stuff that I didn't even know you can do by doing these live streams. Okay, so it's giving me the text. Is it going to actually like give me slides, or is it just going to give me the text for the slides? I knew it can do this. Let's see. Turn it into a slide presentation for me. Not sure what to prompt to get it to actually generate slides, because I'm not sure if it can do that. Okay, so it's going to do it in HTML. See what this does. All right, while it's doing that, I'm going to pull in one of these trees from Ideogram, because these are a little more realistic here. Go ahead and download this one. Download a PNG file. Maybe. Oh, there it goes. So we'll pull this tree into... I'm not going to use Meshy for this. Let's use Instant 3D again. We'll pull this tree in. Let's see how it does with this more realistic tree. All right, here's some other stuff that Dylan's been sending me in the chat that I haven't even looked at yet. So this is, we're all seeing it for the first time together. Actually, first, let me see the slides that it made. All right, introduction to quantum computing. Okay, yeah, so we can see it made like HTML slides. It's giving me a script error down here when I try to click through the slides. I don't know. I'd probably still prefer to use something like Gamma than straight up in Claude, but let me know if I'm doing something wrong. Fontanelli, you said that Claude can make docs you flip in beautiful AI for creating slides and one-pagers. Is this what you're referring to? Just like it making HTML slides? Because Claude isn't going to like generate images. I don't believe Claude has that capability yet. It just gives me an error when I try to click to the next slide. So I don't know, something's going on funky with it. All right, distracted. It can give you the code for a Python script using some Python external library for the slides. All right, so what sort of prompt would I give it? Create slide deck using Python. Let's see, F1 Lab, can you generate with VO2 a video similar to the ones I make on my channel? I'm not sure what you make on your channel. Let's see. F1 Lab. All right, so you do shorts. Let me look at one. All right, let's see. Trying to think of what to prompt here. I'll just go simple to start. Soldering I'll just do soldering a circuit board and see what it gives us. I always like to start basic, and then if I can't get what I'm looking for, then I add more details to the prompt. All right, so this tree, this one's a little wonkier than the last one. I don't know what this is all about right here. So yeah, I mean, some of these 3D objects still clearly need some work. I actually like the purple tree a little bit better than the realistic green tree that it just generated. Let's see. Try removing the background using ideogram. All right, I only got one free generation left, so let's see what happens. All right, so here's the Python script. It looks like it stopped, so we'll keep going. And then VO still takes like 5 minutes to generate, so we'll have to check back on this one. Did I spell solder wrong? I think I did. Hopefully it knows what I was talking about anyway. We'll see. Just in case, let's get another one going. There's a reason I'm not a channel that teaches how to spell. All right. While we're waiting on those, all right, ideogram. We're gonna remove a background here. Let's see. How do you do it in ideogram? I always remove the background using Adobe, actually. Adobe background remover. I don't know. This one's always worked the best for me. So let me go ahead and just do it this way. And then let's try this version here. Got this image with the background. I don't really like how it left this sort of glow behind it, but I think any sort of background remover I use is probably going to leave that. Oh, let's try it. All right, so I've got two versions of this going. All right, so it knew what I was asking for, even though I didn't know how to spell it. So I wouldn't say it's as good as like the real thing that's on your channel, but it's got some, you know, it can get a circuit board and something that sort of looks like soldering, sort of. I don't think improving the spelling is going to really change the output, but we'll wait and see anyway. All right, what is this stuff that, yeah, for whatever reason, this Python script about creating a presentation doesn't seem to want to finish. I'm just going to say that if you want to create slide presentations, use something like Gamma. That works well. What was the other thing that was mentioned here? Let's see. Oh, hey, I didn't realize, Dylan, I think you switched to the other Slack channel, so that I was missing the last few messages you sent over. But he's been sending me some stuff to look at here. Let's see. Wagati, a few weeks back, you mentioned doing a stream with Riley about building an app with no code. Is that still in the mix, or just more no-code app building tools like Bolt and Cursor videos? I mean, I still plan on doing that with Riley. We've talked about it. We haven't actually scheduled a date to do it yet, but it will be on one of the Monday live streams. Most likely we'll use Cursor. I'm pretty sure that's like the main tool that Riley still uses. So that's probably what we'll do. Oh man, my buddy Randy's on. What's up, Randy? Now you should play some Valheim. Dude, I'm totally down to play Valheim on a stream. I don't think anybody like follows me to watch me play Valheim. Maybe I'll do that on a Twitch stream later. Maybe me and Randy can play Valheim on a Twitch stream. I don't know if I want to do it on my YouTube stream, because people will be like, what the hell? Why are we watching you play video games badly? You're not very good at this. All right. Do you have any AI tools that you know are good for app UI design or even web interface design that allows fine-tuning? That allows fine-tuning, I'm not sure, but V0 is really good. V0.dev. This one's really good for UI design. Let's see, like a back-end dashboard to track video analytics. Go ahead and see what it generates for us. Yeah, Swigati said the same thing, V0. This one seems to be the best I've come across for UI design. There's an alternative to Cursor, Windsurf. Yeah, I've used Windsurf. To me, Windsurf and Cursor feel fairly interchangeable. They felt like pretty much the same thing. I think they're both forks of Visual Studio Code. So they both do a good job, though. I've used them both, and they both seem to work well. All right, so this is building our UI for a YouTube analytics dashboard. Our transparent tree doesn't look a whole lot better. Looks a little better though, doesn't it? Oh no, it still got this like weird white glow. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's getting a lot better than it used to be, and that excites me. But it still has some ways to go, I think. All right, I want to move on from that. What is this stuff that Dylan sent me here? What do we got? Hey Dylan, I'm gonna switch back to our live chat channel. So let's keep it over there because I missed some of the other stuff. All right. Personalized 3D generative avatars from a single portrait. I have not seen this one yet. So they gave it an input image, and then it was able to generate like these 3D avatar videos from it. All right. Is there no like main abstract here? All right. So parse consists of two main components and an application. First, we generate a 2D monocular synthetic data set from a single image using our video diffusion model. Next, we train 3D.js avatar using 2D synthetic data set. So basically from like a single input image, it figures out like different angles on the video so that, you know, you can see the profile in the side of the face and stuff like that. With a 3D personalized generative avatar. Let's see what else. In the wild image, here's the 3D avatar it created. I mean, that one from this image of a woman here to this output, it almost made her look like a little more manly, I think. That's pretty cool. Let's see. So is the code available on this one? it doesn't appear that the code's available yet. There's just like a online teaser available here. All right. Let me jump over. Here's our other soldering videos. Peek at these real quick. Yeah, not super realistic in that one. That one looks like it's just poking and not actually soldering. This one looks like it's soldering with a thumbtack for some reason. So yeah, can't quite do what you do on your video channel with videos of ASMR soldering. But it's getting closer. Getting closer. All right, let's see. I got a couple other things that Dylan shared with me to show off, and then I've been going for over 3 hours now, so I'll probably go ahead and wrap up after we take a look at a couple of these here. Actually, let's jump back over here. Did it finish our UI design? Your user-generated chat. Where's our preview? We have our code. No page. Okay, here we go. So it created this dashboard, this simple UI dashboard, but there's a little bit of an issue here. I think the chart goes a little bit too far. The charts are overlapping, but you know, you give it prompts. The daily views chart is too wide. It's overlapping the recent videos section. Fix this. So we can just prompt it to what we want it to do. We've got these other tabs don't work yet, but we've got our overview and we can see it fixed it, but now it made it like almost a little too narrow. Oh, it's still working on it. All right. Check back in a second on that one. All right. So we got 3D Traj Master, mastering 3D trajectory. So 3D Traj Master for multi-entity motion and video generation. Control entity motion with go back. Dang it. All right. 3D Traj Master controls one or multiple entity motions in 3D space with entity-specific 3D trajectories. 6 domain of freedom, control 3D entity locations and orientation, diverse entities, human, animal, robot, car, even abstract fire, breeze, etc. All right, let's see. A koala with a body covered in soft gray fur, large round ears, and a black nose. And then it's giving it this input trajectory. So guessing is the trajectory like how the animal is walking? Okay, yeah. So look, if we can see it's got this like circular loop. And then if we watch the video, everything in the video is walking in that circular loop. And then on this one, we've got like this red section. I'm guessing that's like the guy in the video. And then you've got this green section. So maybe the guy's going to walk in this path, and then the deer is going to walk in this path. So you see the guy walking away from the deer, and then the deer walking in that path. So you can actually set the path of the object that's on that video. That seems really, really kind of cool. This one that they've made the code available already. These 12:10, and so the code, it says the code's released here. We do have some Python codes. This one looks like you could potentially use it. Is it on Hugging Face? Yeah, it looks like it's on Hugging Face also, but I don't know if anybody's created a space out of it yet. And then what else? What's this last one? Video Any Door, high fidelity video object insertion with precise motion control. All right, so there's like a little video of a gravestone here, an image of a butterfly. And then they were able to create it where the butterfly flies over the gravestone. We have a video of a woman walking like in the snow, and then a picture of a cat, and it was able to superimpose the cat walking with the woman here. We've got Nemo from Finding Nemo. I know it's just a clownfish. And then we've got like an ocean scene, and then the clownfish swims through the ocean scene. I mean, this kind of controllability stuff is really cool, because whenever we see stuff like this, and the code's not out yet, but whenever we see stuff like this, it's only a matter of time before we start seeing these kinds of features inside of Runway and Pika and some of these various tools. There's a lot of those programs, they're just taking this research once the code becomes available and then making it available inside of their tools. So that's pretty exciting as well. All right. Let me just kind of take a peek at what we've created here. There we go. It cleaned up our dashboard, our UI dashboard. Now our chart is no longer overlapping with our recent videos. And obviously we can go back and forth and really dial in the UI, but I found V0 to be really, really good for creating UI using AI. And then the last question that's come through here, KD, I want to try Stability AI / Stable Point Aware 3D, but can't find the Hugging Face demo. All right, so Stable Point Aware 3D. Let's find it. The best way to find it is, actually, I'm going to go to the Hugging Face page. So if you were just to go to Hugging Face and, you know, go to huggingface.co / stability AI, you should be able to find it in their list here, Stable Point Aware 3D. So that's how you would find it. Huggingface.co, see the URL right there, and then under their spaces, we can see it, Stable Point Aware 3D. Here's the long URL for it right there. I'll give it to Dylan so he can paste it into the chat. But that's the long URL where you can actually use this Stable Point Aware 3D. And this is the one where, you know, similar to some of the other stuff that we've done today, you can actually create, you know, 3D objects from single images. And it looks a lot better on the front than the back, because it's basically using AI to guess what the back looks like. But yeah, that's where you get to it. So if you're having trouble finding it, hopefully that helps you find it. With that being said, I've been streaming for 3 hours and 8 minutes, and I have not taken a bathroom break. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm just going to skim the chat real quick, see if there's anything that I missed that I really want to answer before we wrap this one up. If anybody wants to watch me play video games at some point, maybe my buddy Randy, who's on this stream right now, him and I will stream over on Twitch, us playing video games. We're both nerds for Valheim. I've also been playing a lot of Elden Ring lately too, so maybe I'll play that. But I'm not going to play it on my main YouTube channel, because I think there's probably 4 people that would actually tune in to watch me play a video game. I always hate shutting down a stream when there's close to 3,000 people watching across all the platforms, but I gotta do it. I gotta end it sometime. Otherwise I'll just like keep going for days. And I'm going to do another one every Monday. My goal, every Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific, we're gonna go live. We're gonna do the same thing. We'll talk about news. We'll test out different tools. I'll show off anything I've been working on. We'll answer any sort of questions, and we'll just continue to deep dive into what's going on in the world of AI. I'm trying to really dial in my schedule for 2025. Mondays are live streams. Fridays are AI news recap videos. Wednesdays, I'm going to be dropping AI tutorials or cool tool roundups, like the 15 AI tools for mobile phones, or 10 AI tools for better productivity and things like that. So Wednesdays are kind of more different styles of videos testing different things, but Mondays are going to be for live streams. Fridays are going to be for AI news recaps, and then Wednesdays are going to be for some other fun videos. Probably more videos in between those. Every once in a while I'll probably drop videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays if there's big news to talk about, or really cool tools that I want to tell you about right now, things like that. So that's kind of my game plan for 2025. I'm also working on an overhaul on Future Tools. I've been working on it for almost a year now. my developer has kind of been falling behind schedule, and I'm probably going to bring on a different developer. Hopefully he's not on this stream watching right now, because if he is, then let's speed up this process. But I'm the guy who's been working on my overhaul for future tools is it's been a slow process, and I think I'm ready to cut my losses and maybe work with a different developer. But yeah, there's an overhaul coming. There's a lot of cool things I'm adding to future tools. I'm trying to make the user interface more intuitive. I'm adding some extra features in there. I'm going to have like not only software tools, but there's going to be a gadget section where you could sort various like AI gadgets just like you can the software now. There's going to be an events page where you can find any sort of events in the AI world in your area that you can go and talk, go and meet up with other AI creators. There's going to be like a community element where you can comment on tools and leave reviews on tools and a lot of things like that. So it's going to be like a login thing. You can still use it without actually logging in, but if you want to leave comments on any of the tools or you want to upvote any of the tools, that's all going to be like a logged in section for members only. Free members only. It's not going to be a paid thing. It's just you're going to have to log in, because a lot of people cheat the system right now. People go and like figure out ways to spam the upvote because they don't have to log in. They've figured out that they can open up a whole bunch of incognito windows and upvote their tool. And whenever I catch people doing that, I actually remove their tool and say, screw you for trying to cheat the system. But hopefully being able to have a login in there will solve that, because then they would have to log in a whole bunch of times to try to cheat the system, and it should just be a little bit harder. But the future tools overhaul is coming. It's just been a very, very slow process, but I'd like to make it like a sort of AI hub where anything you want to know about AI software, AI hardware, physical products, latest AI events, AI community, there's going to be discussion in there. It's all going to be free to use. You just have to, sign up with an email or like a Google login. But that's all coming soon. That'll be hopefully within the next month or so. I just need to finalize a few things, but that's coming. And yeah, that's my plans for 2025. Hopefully everybody had a great, safe New Year's. I'm thinking about all the people up in LA. I'm down in San Diego right now. So LA is just, a couple hours up the freeway from me. And I know it's sort of hell up there right now. I have a lot of friends being affected by the fires. So I'm thinking about them, and hopefully everybody lands on their feet up there. 'Cause that's really kind of a bummer that's going on right now, and hate to see it. But, yeah, that's what I got for you today. Thank you so much for tuning into this live stream. Hopefully you check back on my channel on Wednesday. There'll be a new video coming out on Wednesday. Friday, I'll have a news video coming out back on normal schedule. And that's what I got for you today. I really, really appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this live stream. We had over, I think, almost 4,000 people tuning in live at one point, which is a record for me. I've never had that many people tuning into a live stream at one time. So pretty amazing, pretty wild. Thank you so much. The AI community is amazing. I love hanging out with you guys and talking AI and testing tools and all that kind of stuff. And I'm looking forward to doing it on Monday. So mark your calendar. We'll try to do this every Monday at 11 a.m. Most Mondays, unless I'm traveling or on vacation or something. There'll be some exceptions. But for the most part, every Monday, 11 a.m., let's hang out. Let's do this again. And thanks again. I really, really appreciate y'all. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.